This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. This One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd. Here we are, Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just ready to talk about a lot of this stuff. Man, what a week. What a week.
It's been an interesting week. Where would you like to start? Because I think there are a few places we could go. There are a lot of few places. I take that back. We normally get the real or the stuff that's not wrestling out the way before we get to the wrestling. So I already know where we're headed. Yeah, I already know where we're headed. Yeah.
So before we do that, though, I did do an appearance on the Voices of Wrestling flagship show with Rich Craich and Andrew Rich. It was a night of riches. Embarrassment of riches, they're calling it. If you guys didn't hear that, check out the flagship podcast. We talked about AEW. We talked about state of wrestling music. Played a game with us trying to guess whether NXT wrestlers were real or not based on these names. And it came down to the wire. But yeah, if you guys didn't hear that, check that out. That's like another 2 hours of me this week. So most of my Dynamite thoughts are going to be there. I'm going to let James jump on his Dynamite thoughts later. But we got some other stuff, man. Jesus. Brewhaven said we need a flagship O&R crossover with Rich, Joe, Rich, and James. that would be nuts. But let's see. I guess we got to start. Kendrick Lamar decided to shake the table and basically start aiming at that Canadian again.
Really? And you think that is the biggest story in hip hop right now at this moment?
No, but
okay, just all right. Well, I guess we'll get to the biggest story after this. But okay, okay, sure.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar started aiming at that Canadian again, and then that Canadian decided he didn't want to. The next time we saw him in public, he wanted to start talking, giving speeches like he was having a TED talk instead of getting in the booth, Unfortunately, Kendrick Lamar is not like some old timer or a woman or, a female rapper or anything like that. He may, have got some bars in return. Maybe we haven't got them yet. But, I heard the song. I liked the song. I didn't think it was anything crazy, but it is, kind of a line in the sand. I thought some of Kendrick's, the Prince and Michael Jackson metaphors, I didn't necessarily, that one didn't hit for me as much because I'm like, Prince is way more prolific than you. So rather than disappearing for like 6 years and being a sometimes rapper, Cole's my guy in all of this, and I think Cole's just been, steadily consistent and like just firing on all cylinders and waiting for something like this, quite frankly. But, everybody's picking sides now. Like there's the, there's Drake's end. There's everybody's tracking who's unfollowing who on Instagram and all that. And I prefer not to know none of that because I don't need my rappers to be using social media. I need them to get in the booth. That's what I need. Get in the booth. Don't fuck with me. If y'all want to battle, do it. It's been nearly 15 years for some of these guys. They've been on our radar, right? And they've had their whole careers. Nobody's in danger of anything. Everybody's made all their money. Do it for the sport. Turn the mics on. Let's go. Let's see. You know, and apparently Kendrick seems comfortable doing that. I just want to know what Drake is afraid of.
Well, I mean, it's not like Drake hasn't been involved in some of these things. And also, like, Drake doesn't do the diss record thing the way that, you know, we would prefer him to do it. So it's like, you already know you're going to get. He's going to say everything but the person's name. And then go from there if he, in fact, does that. I think the thing for me is kind of like, most of the notable beefs that we've ever had were people in their 20s. Is there any like mid-30s beef that you can think of that was notable historically in rap over lifetimes?
Jay-Z and Nas probably like the oldest or like early 30s, yeah.
Early 30s. We're talking about Drake, who is turns 37 or 38 this year.
Yeah.
We're talking about a bunch of dudes, and we were talking about a bunch of dudes that are in their, you know, over 35. And for me, it's like, if that's what y'all want, and like, you know, from what I see, people wanted to see this stuff just out of the diss each other. But I'm like, if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, I don't really care one way or the other. I like all three of them as artists. Obviously I like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole more than Drake, because I think Drake is, you know, as an artist, I feel like he peaked years and years and years ago. You could argue even a decade ago. Me and Rich have talked about this off air a lot. Like, I find Drake to be personally like, if you follow his records, kind of a guy that was like someone that, how do I say this? He's a fake nice guy. He's a person that thinks he's a nice guy, and ultimately, when push comes to shove, over and over and over again, he proves he's not a nice guy. But then, as time goes by, he does stuff to try to be like, well, we squashed the beef, me and Meek, whatever. Let's let him live, let's let him breathe, and all that kind of stuff. I've embarrassed shit out of him, you know. And it's like, well, that only benefits you to keep up this facade you have of thinking you're still a nice guy, when it's like, nah, man, you're not. And it's just, you know, for me, I've checked out on him, and I checked out on him quick before. Like I was saying, like I think he is, you know, not reached a certain level from what people think his talent is years before people start having. Like, I think me and Rich were off of him by the time, second album, right?
I would say Views for me, where I was like, all right.
Views were like, okay, let me rephrase it. Views is when you were like, it's never happening. He's never dropping a classic. Me, I was like, hey, bro, I don't like some of the stuff he makes, and I don't like his get down. So like, if people like it, cool. But like, singles Drake is more of my taste than actual album Drake. So, you know, So I've been really disillusioned with him for a long time. You know, at this point, you know, over a decade. Kendrick, super talented. He, you know, To Pimp a Butterfly kind of just left me kind of like, I don't love as much as I love Mad City, but, you know, Damn was like, okay, that was just wasn't for me. That one wasn't for me, but like this one is back on track for what I want out of Kendrick Lamar. And Cole just consistently gives me, you know, his albums are always different, but like depending on the time they hit, like he's really good with timing. And for a person that doesn't drop that often, it's really impressive. Obviously, he drops more to Kendrick at this stage, but it's really impressive how he always seems to kind of be away from everything and know how to be his own person, do whatever he's doing in his own role, and then like it hits at the right time almost every single time without fail.
You know what he does?
It's really impressive.
You know what he does? He does a bunch of songs with people that are way sorrier than him. Like, and he, I mean, yeah. And what he does is like, and he cleans them the fuck up, and then everybody goes crazy for the features or whatever. And it's like, all right, man. The features helps him stay in the limelight as far as be like, you know, the new, you know, that Cole got to have some, you know, around the corner, like when he does stuff with Savage or whoever else, and it's you know, or when he did the London with Thug, you know, it's really Yachty. Impressive. Yeah, it's really impressive. Yeah, Yachty thing was what, this year, right, or last year? Yeah, and then, like you pull Yachty on this song. I was just like, all right, man, I see what you're doing. Like you pulling that man in the deep end with a blindfold on. What you doing? Stop playing. But yeah, man. You know,
Dirk was last year, right?
Yep, him too.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I personally, I think I would love to see it between Cole and Kendrick.
Yeah.
Drake, I have less interest in, but you know, he's gone into battle before. You know, it didn't work out well for him. Yeah. He was the Russian was forever cut on that, and you know, I think he's a lot more bothered by all this than anyone.
Yeah, because, he definitely is, because you know he is the one.
There was a question that came out. I did want to answer though.
Okay.
Like Floyd said, does Drake have anything to gain? Drake has everything to gain because he's constantly the only one that's questioned, whether it's about his ghostwriting, you know, in the past, whether it's about, you know, whatever the fuck he wants to put out at a given time, when essentially he got bullied his last release into putting some type of rap stuff on there, something worth a damn, and then it came in the form of like a bonus, you know, to the album with like 6 more songs or whatever. Like, you want to step in the ring, like he has a chance to earn whatever may be out there respect wise for him. Okay. And he cares about that stuff.
Okay, so from
Floyd's perspective, may not act like it.
From Floyd's, I mean, he definitely cares about it. But like from Floyd's perspective, he's probably looking at it as well. I mean, he's a top guy. He's most commercially successful. Will, you know, him losing a rap battle like hurt him? And it's like, nah, he lost a rap battle really bad before, and it didn't matter. Like he's bulletproof in that kind. It's like, well, you're gonna beat up the guy that like literally makes music to say he's sensitive and soft. That's what it is. Like you can't, like that's the reason why like the Pusha T thing hit so hard, because like he's the emotional guy that is supposed to be more emotionally mature than everybody else, yet he is basically like looking like a deadbeat out here. That's in the majority of his fan base are women, and like wait a second, you have a child that you have not like shown off to the world, and then he did that line to make people be like, if you're dumb, you fall for it. But so for me, like when it comes to Drake thing, I'm not as far as he has everything to gain, but like he does have something to gain for like the people that, you know, don't put him at the level of the all-time greats for the reasons of doesn't have a classic album necessarily that's like going to stand the test time or be like the best album of a decade. Doesn't have one of those necessarily, or not necessarily doesn't. Does so many genres of music besides rap, when rap was what brought people to the table with him. He wants to try this other stuff, and he wants to be a pop star, and there's nothing wrong with being a pop star, but it also doesn't get you the respect of people that he literally wants, right? Like, so, you know, the Joe Buddens of the world, the Pusha T's of the world, like the guys that have been, you know.
He don't rap over beats by a conductor. He doesn't rap over conductor beats to be out here like, oh, I don't care. Like, so like so for him, like it is a thing of he has. It's like there's a lot of similarities to like the WWE fan and like Drake's psyche is like they're making all this money. People are watching them. They're highly successful. They don't get the critical acclaim. And it drives them fucking nuts.
Their focus on on them not getting critical acclaim is like, bro, like, do you want the Transformers money or not? Do you want the Fast and Furious money or not? Because it looks like all you've done your whole career has been going after that fast money, and it's worked more successfully than anybody else ever in this game. But now you also want your props as like being this certain level of Mount Olympus rapper, and it's like you haven't necessarily showcased that in one collection of music in that way, and that's fine because it doesn't seem like, for me it's like that's fine because it doesn't seem like that's what you're actually after. But like once he keeps going at this stuff of these little things hurting his feelings, it's like, oh, you want it all, but it's like, you know, maybe it's for the one it all. You can't have both ways. So from Drake's perspective, if he steps up to the plate and he, you know, were to vanquish beat Kendrick Lamar, beat a J. Cole in a
that would be like the most shocking.
It would. It really would.
Like,
Especially with this, the way we do beefs now, because like the way we do beefs now is like we go into these personal things where people basically like gather information like they're fucking feds and then rap exposing people as opposed to just saying like, hey, I think I'm better than you because you've had these missteps in your career with the music you've made, or blah 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 blah, and then go on from there. Like these points of debates and beefs now compared to when we were kids are totally different. Totally different.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff when the beef back then was just like simple things of disrespect.
Street stuff. And,
like, hey, you said that like rap got fucked up once it went to the West Coast. What the fuck's up with that? You know what I'm saying? Like this now stuff is like, oh, we're fucking the same shit.
Like
we hang around the same people all the time. It's like, what the fuck do you think's gonna happen?
There's like a future Drake chapter of the Fallout too.
That's
and
what
it's
I was
like
getting that.
It's like I don't know exactly how to square that one. Yeah,
I do not care.
I'm much more
in Future's a deadbeat.
Right, I'm much more interested in like there are no good guys in that one.
And nobody that has a brain thinks that Future can out rap Drake. We saw a showcase in a 2015 collab album. Drake. Yeah. What was the scorecard? How many tracks was that? Did Drake? Did he win a round? Did he win a track? Maybe 2.
Brother, I couldn't even tell. It's been so long since I listened to that.
There you go.
But yeah, like, this could be a mistake. Because J. Cole's in album mode. We already know he's got some shit coming. He's dropped like 2 little mini documentaries. He did a remake of I'm Ready on there, which the Dipset shit, which is crazy. Yeah, man. I think it should be Cole and Kendrick, but Drake, if he wants to make it interesting, he can go at Kendrick too. Kendrick Lamar is a big boogeyman of rap. I think people have been like terrified of him for years, going all the way back to Control.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, like, what's there to be afraid of? Like, really? Like, the guy can rap.
He's 5'5".
There is that. What's there to be afraid of? Like, all right, you're a recluse. Like it's like every generation there's somebody that's like, yeah, man, people shouldn't fuck with them. And I always have a question, why? Like Eminem was last era, right? And I'm like,
you can say that, I guess.
Bro, I was like, he doesn't ever prove it against anyone worth a damn. He goes at easy targets like pop stars and women and people that don't rap back.
I think a lot of the similarities in that, I never really thought about it. I think a lot of the similarities in that is like the reclusive part of it. Like they are so, the music that they make is seemingly so like isolated from what is like, the in crowd of what's on the radio or what's playing on people's, playlists or whatever else. So it's like you hear them in their own vacuum and they're incredible. And it's like, all right, do you really want to fuck with it? The same thing was like, do you really want to have some back and forth thing with like Mark or with Jordan Lucas? Is like, that dude's fucking incredible. But it's like, he also makes that Eminem music. He makes, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's the same thing. It's like, well, what happens when like I do this? It's like, well, I don't even want to try that because like, what's the point? It's one of those. It's like, it's a weird, it's almost like a Rubik's Cube of your like the tactics of how you handle people like that are so far removed from, releases, and also, we'll see what happens with Kendrick Lamar because I think he's off Top Dog now, right?
Yeah, he's got his own shit now.
So like, he might not be, so far out and removed because like the Top Dog thing is like, they have SZA and Kendrick Lamar and like between them, think about it, right? SZA got the 2 albums. Her first album came out, 2017? With Kendrick.
No idea.
Well, it's somewhere around 16 or 17, right? So it's 2 albums in 8 years, some shit like that. And then like with Kendrick Lamar, his albums are, not including Section 80, but like, Good Kid, To Be Butterfly, Damn, and the last one just had. That's 4 albums in 12 years. Like that's, there's something going on with Top Dog where they're saying like we just don't do releases every other year. Like we let it breathe for whatever reason. And like maybe he got off Top Dog. He's like, hey, I don't want to do this. So we'll see. We'll see how some of this stuff changed up. Like I remember, it wasn't Cole's last album. I'm thinking the album before when he based like, I want to do like, I did a lot of the no feature stuff, and it was an achievement for me to do no features or whatever else and go and have my success. But like, I don't want to be known as this person that didn't work with nobody. And he's changed that up definitely. So like maybe Kendrick Lamar wants to get out there and, and do more records. He was, fucking Problem was, that was a really big record at the time when it was out. And it's like, when's the last time he had a party record with people? Right.
Been a minute.
That was 2014. It's been a decade.
Shit. I guess if you want to call that family size shit, but that was more like, some epic shit than anything. Yeah. But, I'll tell you a rapper not to fuck with. The Game,
Yeah, because he don't stop. He won't quit.
Like, bro, he don't stop. He's funny.
Yes, he is.
He won't stop again. And he can rap.
Yeah,
like those are the type of people for me that be like, hey, stay clear of that. And he's crazy. Yeah. Like, and he'll beat you the fuck up.
Because it's like he will drop 300 or 400 bars on you, and then like
then he'll knock you. He'll look for you.
And then 6 months later, he'll be like, I'm trying to patch it up. And then, like, the shit don't get patched up. And then, like, here's 300 more bars for you. It's like, bro, this is a lot. Yeah. This is a lot. He's unstable. But Buddy ain't sturdy mentally. He's just not.
Yeah, all these dudes, they're a little too calculated. I need a little bit more,
Oh, man.
Just aim fire or just ready fire. No aim. Wow. I need some of that.
Oh, wow.
But, someone woke up this morning or the other morning feeling like P. Diddy and they left the country. Sean Diddy Combs, we have not talked about the escapades of one Sean Combs on this show thus far, going back with the Cassie situation, which was absolutely awful.
How much she ended up getting? Was it $30 million?
I think she got $30 million.
Yeah, and it was, immediately, like, what was immediately?
Like 24 hours later.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
we found out, and then we found out it was over. It's like, oh, you definitely whatever they say about you now, these rumors around you, there's more than whispers now because you settled real quick. And look,
yes.
I am not a courtroom. Like you are not innocent as proved guilty with me. Like I am willing to be like, hey, there's enough smoke around here for me to clear a fire and go from there. But Diddy. He did whatever they saying he did. He did that shit.
Freak Mill.
I saw
one in this whole thing.
I saw one where they said that he's the first motherfucker to ever get caught with a freako. I was like, oh my god,
yikes,
a freako! Like this is like people got all these jokes because like, and I was talking to my cousin Alex about this. Like people got all these jokes about this, and like it is just blatant homophobia, just basically on blast for people to see. Because it's like, what he's done evil. And the thing that people are talking about is the sensationalism of, oh my God, this guy that we thought was straight may have been having sex with men. It's like, who cares? What about the part where like these men were also victims? No? Freak meal? Okay. All right.
Freak meal.
Yeah.
He'll be at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I heard about that. Was it this week it was announced?
Yes.
Okay.
So the feds busted. I can't even say busted shit open. I can't say that. I can't say that.
Well, think about it. Yesterday would be an anniversary. They kicked in the door.
They literally kicked in the door on the anniversary of Life After Death with kicking the door on it. They kicked in the door. They had Diddy's kids in cuffs. And this man has fleed justice on that Russell Simmons program.
Yeah.
His man, I think he's headed for Cape Verde, which is like Africa, like on the coast of Africa,
or something like that. Yeah.
I
don't know where Cape Verde is located, but I know that the women there are fine. That's all I know. Moving on.
Yeah, there are. I think Cape Verde is like northern Africa, kind of like where it loops around. Yeah, off the west coast of Africa. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if we'll ever see him in this country again.
I mean, if he bring his ass back here, they got the cuss for him, right?
They got shackles for him.
Zip ties, maybe. Who knows?
Bro, they walked in there like that man was dangerous. SWAT teams, big weapons, everything. And
on that nice manicured lawn, too.
Yeah. So, like they assumed that man was a danger, a threat. Of course, we heard the stories about, I forgot who it was. I think it was Kid Cudi. Said his car got exploded by Diddy about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that story.
So this
remember when
whole
Diddy
thing,
slapped the shit out of Drake, apparently over Cassie?
Remember Cole fought him?
J. Cole did? I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. What was that over? What was that fight over?
I don't know. I think they was just too familiar in the club or something like that. But I don't know what happened. But yeah, they fought.
Diddy
and just think about all these years of Diddy. This man has a over 30-year run in the entertainment business. Who knows like who's connected to this and the ways this whole thing can turn. People that may or may not be implicated in its, in the entertainment world, like, this is like the hip hop Harvey Weinstein. This is this is like some Vince McMahon shit. This is like, this is bad news. Like any way you want to slice it. And like the thing with him is he's sold all his shares in Revolt. So like this man's hitting the hills. Like this man's not even doing no funny business to try to stay around like Vince. Like this man is clearly over. I've been caught, but I am not going to go down. Yeah, I will not look. They can't hold me down. Like he once said.
This man's hitting all the jokes, all the puns. It's crazy.
No, it's all about the Benjamins, because he's a bad boy for life. Yeah. Zip him up, cuff him up, get him the fuck out of here, bro. I got no time for Mr. Combs.
Yeah, like I saw the thing, like the raid was done by Homeland Security. Oh, this is feds. Oh, so this and like, oh, it happened on two different different properties. Oh, and they're on connection. Oh, there might be trafficking involved. Oh, if they ever get him, he's done for. So I'm like, hey man, what is it? The feds conviction rate prosecution rate, they get you in court, like it's what 95%, some shit like
95,
that. 95, yeah. 19 out of 20 they win.
Shit, you might want to.
You bring your ass back to America and see what they do for you.
Hey,
you behind the wall.
Like them brothers of Islam, you better hope you the 5%.
Oh man.
You better hope you were the 5%, but
yeah,
I doubt it. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, but yeah, we should move on. Let's talk about Stardom.
I did not know the MP was in here, but once he drops that line, it's like, oh, who else would know that besides us? Hey man, you giving away some secrets in there.
Secrets,
bro. That shit's so old. I forgot that I knew that.
Yeah,
I forgot I knew that. That was a refresh. Jesus. All right.
Trade secrets.
Yo, that's crazy.
So Stardom had two pieces of big news kind of this week, aside from Hannah winning the Cinderella. We got news of the people that would be leaving Stardom and going to Ogawadom or
Rossi-dom,
whatever we calling it.
Goldum, like
the Ogawa Zone.
The Ogawa Zone. Okay.
And then we saw different. We saw the president of Stardom with Tony Khan backstage. Mina Shirakawa wrestled in Ring of Honor.
Yep.
Presumably, there's some partnership with AEW and Stardom.
She beat Anna Jay, right? Yeah,
the Anna Jay. She beat her.
Anna Jay, a person that was a discourse topic this past week.
Man, just I don't know if you saw like what I wrote in the forum. I'm just like, I can't imagine. Well, I'll get to it later, but it's just I just can't imagine being this passionate about Anna Jay one way or the other. She's just a regular wrestler. Like, I don't. But Stardom, like the people that's leaving. So James, do you have the list of people that are leaving? Or do you
off
remember?
the top of my head is Utami, it's Julia, it is Mai Sakurai, it is Mirai, and am I forgetting anybody else? There might be one other person.
Utami, did you say her?
I could have swore I said her second or first.
Okay.
Utami and Julia, Mirai, Yuzuki, the rookie.
Yeah,
and,
rookie, Yuzuki.
And Mai Sakurai so far. And I don't think there's anyone else.
People are speculating Kevin may be out of here too.
I don't remember Kevin being on the list.
Yeah.
Did you see the clip of
Sonny? Yeah, he's gone too.
Yeah. Did you see the clip of Kevin and Azumi talking about being nicknamed Kevin? You ever see that?
I have seen that. Yes.
It's hilarious.
So these people are leaving to go, like, all you need in Fire Pro is 6 people to start a promotion. So you got 6 people
for now.
Presumably you're gonna get like Nanai Takahashi to walk in the door with you. You're probably gonna
like Yoniyama / Death. Yep.
Like you'll have like freelancers available that will come work or whatever. I don't know.
And you have a main event feud that will draw.
Yeah. Like you got like a match, like you got Julia Utami in your back pocket,
right?
And that's like a match that we never got in Stardom,
right? We were supposed to get it, and the injury thing happened in the Grand Prix last year.
Yeah. So as far as the people that were staying was pretty much everyone else. Like we started seeing all the announcements for all the talent dropping in Philadelphia. We saw high profile people kind of like Saya Kamatani come out this week and say they're staying in Stardom.
Yep.
Well as like Shuri, Azumi, Tam Nakano, of course.
Yeah. Like the Shuri thing is kind of like the Mayu thing, where it's like we don't know how to gauge it, but they're staying here put because they're signed through a longer deal because of the movie, because Shuri was like the wrestling coordinator or whatever else. For us. So it's like, okay, Shuri's stuck here. Same thing for like Starlight Kid and Azumi. They're here for now. We don't know.
Also,
we don't
Susan
know.
Suzuki.
She stayed, which was the one I was like, what? Oh, she's staying? Interesting.
Yeah. So like, obviously Utami's a huge loss, right? Yes. Julia will be leaving after, and going to NXT. So it seems like, Tommy's probably going to be the ace over there. And I don't know, like, I'm interested to see how that promotion like builds itself up. Mm-hmm. But I think if you're Stardom, you're like, all right, we knew whether anything was happening or not, we were losing Julia, right?
Right.
You look at the rest of that list, you're like, can we afford to lose Utami? I think you look around at the roster that you have and you're like, yeah, we can afford to lose one of them. And then the other people that they lost, all right, we still got Kamatani around. We still got Starlight Kid and Azumi for now. We still got Shuri for now. Like,
we have Susan, which I thought
you got Susan Suzuki.
I thought she was gone.
So I feel like if you're Stardom, you gotta feel like you're in good position, especially like Teru Okada is like doing a good job with all this, and it seems to be like someone the fans are embracing.
And it seems like the wrestlers actually like him,
right? So, like, I feel like Stardom, like, may have, like, navigated this thing, like, it's not going to be nearly the kind of, like, just damaging split, I think, as it, seemed like it was going to be. It's going to be, all right, you lost, like, Utami, who, is part of some of the greatest matches in the company's history. But you can slide, literally, you got Suzu Suzuki right there in the spot. You can give Queen's Quest to Sai Kamatani and keep it rolling, really.
Yeah, it's just like they lost 2 of the 6 people that they have pushed at the top of the promotion over the last, almost or 3.5 years, right? Like since the pandemic, the top 6 have been Shuri, Mayu, Tam, Julia, and Kamatani. To lose Julia, they already knew she was leaving, so they've already made arrangements with that. But losing Tommy absolutely stinks because that she's one of the best wrestlers in the world. She's been highly underutilized in the last 2 years about. So like, yeah, I just it stinks to see her leave. Especially because like given the cage match last year, like I just thought that Utami and Kamatani had made this leap forward in storytelling and their connection to each other, and like we were set for them actually like breaking off from each other and becoming rivals and actual equals for the first time. Because it was always like, yeah, Kamatani got to, set the defense record for the white belt, whatever else, but like she's always little sis. She's always gonna be little sis. She couldn't beat me for the Futures title back in 2020. I beat her and then vacated the belt, and then I told her to leave Tam and come to Queen's Quest with me, and she's always been riding shotgun with me while I've been in the driver's seat. And to see like where they were headed, I thought potentially could be to like the next big rivalry in Stardom. And, we're gonna miss out on that. So I think that stinks. And I think that stinks as like the bridge to the next generation, the golden generation of like, all right, once we get past, the main event mafia of Tam, Shuri, Mayu, and Julia, like we have Kamatani here, we have Micah, we have, Kamatani, Utami, Micah, Mirai.
Oh no, Mirai's gone too.
That's what I meant. Like at the time before all this shook out, it's like when they were doing the generational struggle, it was like, all right, that's the youngins were supposed to beat them eventually, and then that was going to be their place in the next 18 months, 2 years, and then
no, y'all.
two of them leave, two of them out of there. So, for me, that kind of just blew it up. But I'm interested to see that there's that there can be another promotion, and they have 2 people at the top or 3 people at the top of the card that can like wrestle main event caliber, top of the card or top Joshi level matches. So with Mirai and with Utami, with Julia for how long they have Julia. So I'm not really counting them out, but I'm interested to see like what happens with Stardom as far as like, all right, they lose these key people, but the roster is so loaded they can make up for that loss because the depth is insane. And I wonder like what that means for the landscapes, for like the freelancers and like who wants to come in and who wants to do programs. Cause like, if they can't come in here and do programs with people, they can't get, a Vinny, if they can't get a Chihiro Hashimoto, if they can't get a Sari, where are they headed? They have to be able to get more people outside that like, want to, sign on and actually commit to this to make it work. And we'll see. I'm interested to see. I thought there would be more people that Rossi would have been able to get to his thing, to his new venture, but we'll see where it goes from here. Because I thought it was gonna be like maybe 2 more people, 2 more, upper mid card people, and then you start filling people in or whatever else from there, and then you have something, that can grow the next 2-3 years. But I'm still interested to see what they do, and I'll be watching.
So, Toru Okada last week showed up in Boston, or a couple weeks ago, showed up in Boston with Mina Shirakawa. I don't know if anybody else was with them. I didn't see.
Maybe Kogo or Waka. I'm not sure. Maybe but one on screen.
So it looks like, there was a picture that came out of Toru Okada and Tony Khan. Seems like the Stardom and AEW doors at last have been opened. People, of course, we've followed this, kind of conversation about it. There was,
since 2019.
Yeah, since, the red belt champion used to wrestle in AEW, and, the high speed champion used to be in AEW.
Right.
And,
while she was dueling champions, and then when she wasn't in AEW, she was bringing the AEW Women's World Title to Stardom. Yeah.
Yep. So, TK, of course, danced on Rossi's grave on his way out. So
erroneously, it wasn't even actually what he thought it was. He just like, hey man, I've been waiting to just tweet at this man for years, so I'm just gonna get it out. I'll get it out my system. Yeah.
So, Mina, of course, had her match. Thought it was fine. She fought Anna Jay. People lost their minds. More on Anna Jay. You know, she's someone that drives a lot of conversation for whatever reason. I just can't imagine being that passionate about her when she's kind of like, to me, just a mid-level wrestler. Like, she's not pushed harder than her abilities. Like, she's not like beating people that she has no business beating. Mm-hmm. She's just a roster member to me. Mm-hmm. And you know, she's always kind of fantasy booked. She needs to be sent to Japan. She needs to do all this, and I'm just like, all right. I mean, what if she doesn't want to go? Like, I don't.
Right.
like it's not for everybody.
Right.
But,
like, she doesn't do. Unless something changed, like she hasn't done matches outside of AEW since she's been in AEW. So what makes you think she's going to take it to the other hemisphere?
Yeah. Her, you know, she was like kind of tweeting with Mina, and, you know, Mina's doing a thing like, you know, it was nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Like, there may be some up her sleeve, but
yeah,
who knows? But as far as like, you know, this whole thing, like, it seems like Forbidden Door is there. Mercedes seems like she's a huge part of this.
Yep.
I would just like Starlight Kid and Azumi to just be dropped, you know, and do a match on AEW and see how everybody reacts.
But no, Rich, you can't do that because because Tony Khan historically has like a 5 year, like, well, almost 5 years at this point, like, history of being, or actually over 5 year history of just like, I will give you a random match that will get you excited. The right people excited that know, but no one else knows, but only if they're men. But when they're women, not really. We don't do the random dream match to put on TV to blow people's minds. They don't really do that with the women. I don't know if you've noticed that. I'm sure you have, but you know, it's for some reason it just breaks out that way. We'll see how it goes with this Mercedes thing going forward in the Stardom Forbidden Door possibilities.
Bro. You know, I would love to see the Big Bird come through. You know. Right. Right. Kamatani, you know, bring it here, you know, Shuri. I love to see it. The Icon, you know, it can't be no worse than Kelly Klein. You know, when she had to come to America and fight her.
God, it was so funny. It was so.
We got Hikaru Shida for you here, Shuri. Y'all could team up. Y'all could do whatever y'all want.
Right. The thing that's funny about that is, like, I had got to start right at the beginning of 2019, and then they made her the Woman of Honor champion, and so like y'all are watching like these, like the Mayu matches versus Kelly Klein. So like y'all have no idea what I've seen. So y'all are just like, oh, she's whatever, it's fine. Like she's clearly more talented than her, but like this ain't nothing really right, you know, exactly like enjoy that much, James. And then it's like, you don't understand. She's wrestling somebody. Like, this isn't the match that impressed you watching Miami one time. But then eventually y'all saw, you're like, okay, never mind. Withdrawn. But it was like, you know how that has to be. That was so annoying for you. It's like, really? This is one of your favorite wrestlers in the world now, James? You watching this woman on she's like, hey man, like, look, how about this? Here's my password. You log in and watch this match. It's one of those. But anyway, yeah. I'm sure the Mercedes Moné matches or the Thunder Rosa matches or whatever else that Mayu has gets to have, whatever else will be a blast whenever they have them.
You know, Natsupoi, come see about Yuka Sakazaki. You know, come get it. You know, Willow ready. You know, that would be hilarious.
Statlander's
ready.
That would be hilarious if Poet came over here and had a match on AEW before Yuka did. You know, you can just graduate. She's already undergraduated to come back to TJPW.
Look, Natsupoi versus Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale. Let's go. 2-on-1 handicap match.
I figured you would have saved it for someone that. I figured you were gonna save it for someone that, like, you know is gonna hit hard. Like you put Poi in there with Jamie Hayter whenever Jamie Hayter comes back. Bro? She's been going for over a year now, hasn't she?
Shoulder, yeah. Her last appearance, I think, was Revolution 2023.
Yeah, it feels like it's been over a year, so I just had to, make sure. Yeah, man. Yeah. But it's whatever they do, we'll see. But like, you have Mina and Azumi coming over here for Windy City Riot. You have a group of the women, or most of the roster, coming over for the WrestleMania weekend. So, like, there will be opportunities to put people on screen if that's what Tony Khan wants to do. But, you know, it might be Ring of Honor, might be AEW. Yeah. We'll see.
Or they can go, you know, fight Athena, you know. Well, yeah. That's I
mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, they call it, her nickname used to be, or still is, the American Joshi. Like, I would like to see Athena versus some of my favorite wrestlers. I would like to see that. Yes.
Yeah. So I was part of a review for Dynamite with Rich Craich. So I'm gonna kind of throw it, you know, to James on what you saw, kind of you know, kind of takeaways from this week on AEW, because it was in Toronto. I like the show.
Yeah. Opening match was the promo with Mercedes. Okay, so I need Mercedes she got into something, and I need her to, like, not do just to come out here just to cut promos anymore. Thing. Nothing wrong, no knock against her. It's just she still talks in, like, the WWE speak. Like, where, like, it's a lot of catchphrases and puns based around her name, and bankrupt and CEO and boss, and all right, we get it. Like, we understand that's your character. Like, can we talk like a human being? Not to say that she wasn't living like a human being, but, like, her verbiage was not. Nah.
Yeah, I didn't think it was
like the AI, like the Chat GPTs. Like, hey, how many puns can you put together to come this promo and desire to? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was you know, I think my main point was, like, yo, you're gonna go through some of these with Mercedes. Like, this is part of the package.
Yeah, it wasn't that it was a bad promo. It was just that it was very WWE-ish, and, like, and the Dynamite the last 3 weeks has been very WWE-ish.
Thrown to a video package in the middle of her feud, and then just coming back. So there were, like, just a couple subtle things where I was like, yo, she can turn heel on a dime.
Yeah, she could.
Like,
yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of the gimmick, the CEO thing, is, like, you know. But then you get to the the Okada and Kingston Continental title match, and, like, I thought the match was great. I really liked the pace that they wrestled with. I thought they were, you know, like, it was more focused on, like, showing Okada as a in-ring, in-character personality, and showing, like, as you see in the background, like, all the ridiculous, goofy-ass faces he was making. He was a fucking clown. He had me dying. But yeah, like, you know, he's outclassing Kingston. He's you know, mocking Kingston. He gives him the boot wash. Kingston fights back, starts hitting some suplexes. Okada gets back on top. He looks like he's about to put him away with one of the spinning rainmakers. Kingston ends up getting up the double arm block, which, like, hurts Okada's arm, and also, like, still takes out Kingston. But, like, Kingston, because of the damage to Okada's arm, Okada can't make the cover, so it saves him, it spares him. Then the match continues, and Kingston, you know, looks like he's about to, you know, possibly win, and then, you know, Okada, like, gets by the ref, low blow, or not low blow, eye poke, and then Rainmaker gets a W, and yeah, just really good match. Really enjoyed the match. What do you think of the match? If you want to just give your quick thoughts on it, because you already talked about it.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, like, but I thought they had I think they have a better match in them.
Definitely.
And I don't think this got to even, like, you know, the great level. I thought it was just, you know, it was good. It was more of a dominant performance. I think Okada looked better in how it was booked than the performance of it, if that makes any sense. Like, they have, you know, this is part of, like, a 3-step process, it seems like, you know, to quickly establish him in the company. They've already strapped this guy up in 2 weeks. They're not fucking around with it. Yeah. They introduce him with the angle. They do the trios match, you know, to set this up, and they get it here, and then they literally New Japan style send his next opponent out and pack, you know, to basically be like, yeah, we keeping it real familiar and easy with this guy, and he's getting the Continental rules to inherit. So even the Young Bucks are removed, you know, from the act, so you get to just experience the world of Kazuchika Okada.
Well, they're removed from being at ringside, but they're backstage and they're talking. It's kind of like, this guy's fucking great, isn't he? And I was like, these assholes! Like, it's such a great touch. Like, he's like, we'll be back to show all the replays, and they go back and show the replays. Like, after they did the DDT on the floor, he's like, that needs a replay. Like, they're so good at being assholes. They really are. Bro, like, this is why people get worked by them dudes. Like, they're so good at it. Oh,
bro,
they're so good.
All-time workers. Like,
so good.
Three wrestlers, or they're not in yet, but they should be. Hopefully this year. But yeah, like, as far as like just the what it does for the roster, it's like you've established the world of Kazuchika Okada, like the Continental Belt. He's not going to be in world title contention. He's going to hold this shit
for
forever.
A while.
You're going to bring people in to face him, like, they're starting with Pac now. Who knows? And he's going to get like all the fresh opponents he wouldn't have been able to wrestle seemingly. And like, it's his own thing until you want to break him out and do something else. Like, it's its own, the Okada verse almost.
Yeah. He's going to have his own championship. It's going to be kind of similar to the Orange Cassidy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoy, I like that idea actually. So I'm trying to think what was next after that, because I don't remember. I'm pulling up a show review right now so I can see remember what was happening.
While you do that, I'll talk about Eddie Kingston. So he had he drops the belt. He, had the Triple Crown or whatever. And, Eddie Kingston's life was going really great for about 4 months. And I think, Eddie Kingston ultimately, he didn't enjoy that. Like, he was like, yo, things is becoming too easy out here. I need some struggle back in my life. So, the deconstruction of Eddie Kingston began with a Rainmaker.
All right, so why in the world? Why is it so hard to find? So I think I'm assuming Ospreay came out next, right?
He came out at 9, I believe.
Yeah, he did come out at 9. There was something else. There was a. Why in the fuck can I find? All right, we're gonna cherry pick through this because we can get through it quickly. All right, so there's a promo with Swerve, calls out Joe, says he wants to be number one contender.
Joe, I know what was next. It was Jericho and Hook.
Oh, yeah, Jericho and Hook. So it was strange. Like, this crowd was really, they were into the Kingston and Okada match like crazy. And then Jericho comes out. They're in Canada. Jericho comes out. And like, he's cool. He's not getting some huge reaction, even though it's fucking Chris Jericho. And like one of the last few times they were in Canada, it was like the Omega match, right? And whatever. So he's having a match with Hook, and like the crowd is like kind of like not really into it that much until like Jericho can take so many suplexes that they finally get into it. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then like at a time where I'm thinking like the match is gonna, be more competitive, like Jericho is basically like a small little comeback, and then like Hook more or less just cuts him off from there and shuts off his water, and then like Jericho tries to get one last ditch effort to get into the Lion Tamer, and then Hook basically like gets a roll out pin out of that and ends up catching Jericho, and then Jericho looks like a defeated man, like I got beat by a better person. And like they did a fist pound, and then Jericho said, post match said backstage said he had a preposition for Hook for next week on Dynamite. So I don't know if that's them tagging together. I have no idea, but he was beaten.
Yeah, I actually liked this match. I thought it was pretty creative how they did it, and then dumping someone directly on their head immediately to start the match is always going to work. Typically, that's with me. I think it was quite comfortably Hook's biggest win of his career.
Yeah.
And it's still going somewhere else, obviously with the post match thing. But I think Jericho is somebody that is he's searching right now. He's trying to. He's like, I will do everything
to not go away.
To not go away. And I don't know if he's nervous about going away or, thinking he'll just get left behind. but he's like, yo, I'll be fucking Lionheart. Like I'll fucking lose. You know, I'll get destroyed by Takeshita. I get destroyed by Hobbs. I'll lose the hook clean in the middle. You know, I'll do whatever it takes for you to love me, seemingly. I just don't know if that's going to work with him right now.
Right.
Like,
that's what
he
I'm
needs a
concerned
couple
of too.
He needs a couple months. Like, whether it's like, you know, it's tough for a wrestler where it's like, all right, it's just not hitting for you, and he's not getting hijacked, so it's not as visceral, but it's just everyone's kind of awkwardly kind of just looking at him like, all right, be compelling somehow, like, but the compelling part is not coming as easy right now, so he's gonna have to go through it. You know, gotta take his lumps. You know, he clearly ain't going nowhere. So
yeah. How long have I been frozen for? Seems like okay. I'm unfrozen now.
You just unfroze.
Yeah, ain't that a bitch. Anyway, so yeah, I don't. You know, he needs to be in the tag team badly, but like the Guevara thing, like Guevara got in trouble, right, for the Matt Hardy thing. So like, you know, whatever. So I forgot to mention when we were talking about the Mercedes thing is set up the, you know, Julia Harton and Sky Blue came out. Then Willow and Chris Chase came out to protect the CEO with chairs. And while Mercedes' back was turned after the lights came out or went off and came back on to let Julia and Sky Blue leave, Willow had the chair caught like she was going to hit Mercedes, and Mercedes turned around and saw the chair was caught, and she was like, "Oh, I clock you. You got something. You were going to hit me, so like I'm mad at you." So that's setting up that for later. So Renee's backstage with Swerve. He says his intentions were to attack Samoa Joe last week with the chain that he had due to Joe embarrassing him the previous week with the choke out. Strickland has a steel chain with him, and he doesn't have a problem choking anyone out either, because he's alluding to hanging the hangman.
So he wants to fight a real big man too.
Yeah, he wants to fight a really big man. Ask for open challenge. Yeah, so we end up getting Renee backstage with Statlander, Stokely, and Willow, and you say normally they're all smiles, but then they plugged the match they're going to have in the main event of Rampage in the third hour. So then Mercedes walks up, Statlander says thanks, and then like you see Willow, and she walks off, then you see Willow and Mercedes, and in between them you see Stokely, and you see Stokely like just stargazing at Mercedes, and I'm thinking to myself, angle alert, this is like, it doesn't really fit Statlander and Willow for this heel manager to be around to do the talking for them, but if neither one's going to turn, you can obviously put Stokely, ex-WWE NXT person, with Mercedes, and can handle some of the, you know, can take bumps for the bigger women and all that kind of stuff. Like, I can see it, but we'll see.
Also, Statlander might be turning too, because she keeps losing all these matches.
Yes, definitely losing all the matches that Willow's winning. Yep. So as we mentioned, we were just mentioning the Jericho match. Adam Cole cuts a promo pre-tape where he's sitting in some nice fancy room with a nice chair, and he has a nice suit on. It looked like where is it? It's not the same room, but like it made me think of like the room where they send the evil white guys in New Japan to go terrorize Okada or Naito before the title match. Like
it's like Cody was sitting in that room smoking a cigar.
Cody was in that room. Kenny Omega's been in that room multiple times. Jay White's been in that room multiple times. Like it's
playing with knives.
Yeah. Oh, minus the knives. But yeah. So he says that Wardlow disappointed him, and that like he basically is like browbeating Wardlow into saying like, since you failed, you now have to protect the two people, the two acts that are actually the champions in his faction, which are Taven and Bennett, the ROH tag team champions, and the international champion Roddy, and then like he also did the fake Freudian slip of, you're supposed to win the title and I was going to have the title. Oh, I mean, you're going to win the title. Like he's doing one of those. It's like you're still teasing that like these two idiots linked up because they wanted the same thing, and it's like, so both of you are idiots, and Wardlow's dumber than everybody. Okay, we're continuing.
Not compelling at all.
Nope. It's a loser.
Adam Cole continues to be part of losing acts for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. We're a little, beat it heavy for these other guys. Then we get Ospreay coming out to address the things Danielson said, and look, man, he's cut 3 promos. He's cut 3 great promos. He comes out. The crowd is just excited to see him. They're excited to sing his music. They're excited to yell "Elevated," and they're excited to yell "Ospreay, Ospreay." He comes out hopping and skipping like he's having the time of his life. Big smile. You see those British teeth, and you're just like, yo, this dude. If you had, we've been watching him for a long time. Like when people talk about like sometimes you just have it or whatever else, it's like, nah, man. I saw promos from Chris Jericho and Smoky Mountain. He didn't have it immediately. You can develop it. Like Eddie Guerrero, the story, he basically got all the Art Bart stuff after Art Bart's, I'm blanking on the name. His tag team partner died. So it says like, you can learn this stuff. And like, he has progressively learned this stuff, and like, he's just like right now, it's him and Rocker, the two best promos in the sport right now. The fake sport. But nonetheless, those are the two best promos in wrestling right now. I never thought Will Ospreay would ever be an elite promo in pro wrestling. Did you? Where did I saw it coming, 2 years ago in the G1 stuff, but this is crazy.
Yeah, he's just it's like there's an old phrase like he's letting his nuts hang. That's kind of what he's doing, and this is like, yo, I'm just gonna be me. Like, if I'm gonna lose, it's gonna be on my own merit.
He's silly, he's playful, he's deadly serious. Like, he feels like an actual lived-in real person. Like, except like, and he feels like he's selling a big fight every time he talks.
Well,
it's really, but besides the part where he's going to give you a great match, it's like it doesn't feel like what I thought it would have been when he came to AEW, like, the first run for the first Forbidden Door or last year. It don't feel that way. Like, this is totally different. Like, he is basically right now at this point, because there's no Kenny Omega right now, and there's no CM Punk, there is no Jericho. He feels like he has taken that master of ceremonies like thing right now. Like, he's not the suit and tie guy because he comes out in sweats and Adidas and high socks, but like, he feels like the face of the promotion right now. He's not the champion. He won't be champion for whoever knows how long, but like, he's already seen like he wants that, and that's what he's doing. And like, he keeps cutting promos like this. Like, this is a top babyface. This is a top babyface of the promotion. And look, Swerve, he's going to be the champion. The top babyface is Will Ospreay right now.
I think that's the story of AEW this year. Is the race for the ace spot between Swerve and Ospreay, and we're gonna see the best, I think, of like of these guys, and it's like the things that will drive a promotion forward are guys that are kind of coming at it from different perspectives, like a Austin and Rock. Like a Sean and Brett, and it's like they will compete and ultimately the fans will win. So it's like, if you're not ready to step in the ring and cut a promo, like, I believe between what Ospreay's doing, what Swerve's doing, like, you can't be on top in this company half stepping. Like,
you can't. Because, bro, the champion is Samoa Joe.
Yeah, no one even thinks about him. Like, he's
but like
an afterthought.
The talking segment, the stuff he's done since he's been champion, every time he grabs a mic, he feels like a big deal. But we know he's a transitional champion. We just know because we watch wrestling our whole lives. We know that this is not someone that's going to be champion for long in this promotion, the way this promotion is headed. But, like, these guys, like
there's all this advertising that's out there right now for All In, and the first two people being played in the video are Swerve and Ospreay, and it's like, if you can't see it, they're hanging a flashing light in the face, like the race to be the ace. This is it right here. Lay it out.
Right. Like, and you see how we, the original top people in the company. Obviously, Omega is dealing with recovery from diverticulitis. But like Moxley is doing his New Japan thing right now, tag team thing right now. Danielson refuses to want to win a championship belt. Jericho has been downcycled since 2022. We have Hangman, we have Jay White, we have Swerve, we have Ospreay, we have Okada.
Takeshita.
Well, I think he's the next level below that, but sure. But what I mean by that is like, there is a new class of guys, and the only person that has been established over the years for real, and we have, long track record with, is Hangman. And Hangman gets to wrestle this new wave of guys. He wrestled the first wave of guys. He's the bridge guy for this next generation. And obviously, that's what the Swerve in Hangman thing was, and we just didn't know it at the time because we didn't know that Okada and Okada and Ospreay were coming together to AEW. But now that they're here, oh, okay. So it's like, this is gonna be really fun the next few years. Like, we've gotten past like the post CM Punk brawl out shit in Wembley and him leaving, all that kind of stuff. He's over there. He's happy there. The fans are happy over there. WWE is doing really well. AEW is doing really well fucking too. And they've gotten past this situation. So like, yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to the future with these guys. And like the part where like they have two top baby faces. And like the one of them is going to be the champion sooner than later, and the other one behind him seems like he's going to be the biggest star in the company at the rate this is going. Is like, this is really promising. It looks really promising.
Like, this is literally how
I'm a babyface guy. So like I'm really liking.
It's been a long time to get like a babyface that is like, because we had MJF all of last year, and half of it was the heel, half of it was him turning babyface, and the stuff he was doing just flew so directly in the face of what most of us liked. And obviously he's got to rejoin this crop too when he comes back. But
he does.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. We'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out.
He's better. He's historically, I mean, at least so far right now, he's proven to be more valuable and a better fit, not at the top of the card, not in the main event. He's better.
The price of brick has gone up.
Yeah, he's better. Like, he proves to be more valuable to the promotion, not being the top champion. It is what it is so far. He'll have another. I'm sure he'll have another shot to prove us wrong. But as of right now, it is what it is. He crashed and burned the car.
Like, you give him like the third from the slot top, and he's had a little bit of time to put together a few. He's done that with wild success, like with people like Darby, and obviously guys like Darby are in this thing. So like,
right.
I don't know, man. There's too many guys that I look around at in this company, and it's like, I feel good about watching this. Like, this is exciting.
Right.
So, but Ospreay announces he's got Shibata next week.
Yes, because he talked about how, Danielson said that I couldn't fill his shoes, and talked about, the legacy, and he's like, in Japan, he's like, yeah, as you know, like, I couldn't fit in his shoes. And he's like, he mentions the championships, winning Best Super Juniors twice, multiple time juniors champion, one time, I believe, multiple time never openweight champion, then talked about how he was the world champion. Like, this, your legacy, Japan, compared to mine is way better. And it's like, yeah, man, just,
I am the captain.
Yeah, it's just like, he just, and then like he says the goofy, silly things that like feel earnest in a way. Like, he talked about the maple syrup thing. It's just like, he feels like a real person, but like, he's big shit talking at the same time. It's really like, it's impressive. It's impressive because this was not what we thought of Will Ospreay, 6 years ago. Just not. Just, he was a flippy dude. Now he's like a full form he can do it all now. It's really impressive. And like, he can do it all in a way that like, even people that I think like higher of historically weren't able to do this at this level. Like, no knock against Kenny Omega, but like Kenny Omega did not want to be the guy to get the mic and go talk to Shivani and then like talking to the camera. He did not want to do that. It's how if you want to do, the Nakazawa, bench press stuff, or you want to be silly. And it's like, but his big run came as the heel, and Omega's always been better as a heel. So it's like, to see Ospreay do this, it's just really impressive because like, it was like he was getting a bunch of reps to do this in Japan. He just wasn't. He was a heel when he's champion. They've
got a real strict idea of how they see the foreigners. So what do we have next? We had it was a women's tag match. That thing was a little,
I thought they moved around well. I thought that, and I thought mostly it benefited the story. It wasn't trying to have a match of the year or a great match. It was more trying to get the story over there. Like, all right, Deanna, as you mentioned before, Deanna, she gives off nothing but heel, right? She's in there with Thunder Rosa. Let's have Thunder Rosa, because she never lost the TNT title, or sorry, the AEW Women's title. Let's have her pin Toni Storm with a roll up and like get her into the contention spot that Deanna wants, and watch Deanna turn on her. Because you saw all the Deanna's face when she got that pin, and like she was not happy. And then at the end, when they finally got down out the ring, she decided to like put on a face like she was okay. But the mask came down, so that's clearly in play. So Thunder Rosa and Deanna, I'm cool with it. But obviously we got to get to Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm, finally getting her win over Thunder Rosa that's been delayed for 2 years or a year and a half, whatever it was. So yeah, I thought it was a nice piece of business.
They were scrapping outside the ring, and Toni Storm snapped out of that goofy gimmick real quick.
Yeah. Swerve comes out, Butcher match. So
a match book for me.
So Swerve takes like 80% of this match, but like the thing that was interesting was like,
yeah, you got him out of there pretty quick.
Yeah, it was basically enhancement match, right? The thing that's interesting to me is like Butcher got the big lariat, and then Swerve no-sold that shit, double drop kick that man, and hit the joint, hit the Swerve stomp and got the win. I was like, wait. Why he flipped when he got hit with Larry? He did the flip bump and then got up and then just said, "No, I'm no selling." I died laughing. I was like, I didn't know he was supposed to do it like that, but okay.
No, he gave him the stomp, and then he gave him the kick, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm putting submission on you."
That's right.
So
he hit with multiple moves that could have put him away. Yeah.
So like he breaks out a new submission hold, and that
looked like a short arm scissors.
Yeah, it was something like that. Like, and it looked like I was like, oh, that looked painful. Like he learned that in the army or something. So, Butcher taps when a guy is kind of chasing the champion. He breaks out a new move that kind of makes alarms go off for me.
Yeah, so, I mean, if he taps out Samoa Joe with this short arm scissor looking shit, I'm gonna die laughing. I'm like, wait, what?
Like there was a match, Takeshita had with Rocky Romero later on where Takeshita
Rampage, right?
On Rampage hit, the outside of the ring with the arm. So I think, that's gonna set up, the Swerve and Takeshita match that's this week. And my God.
Yeah.
So
that's a match during the promo with Swerve and Samoa Joe, Callis comes out, interrupts. He had the most heat in the whole building. Yeah. More than Cope, more than Ospreay, more than Swerve. Callis came out and it was like, nah, motherfucker, like you out here, but Kenny Omega's not. Boo! They booed this shit out that man, and it was deafening, and it was like it was amazing, and like you could barely hear like everybody promo because they were talk because the crowd hated him so much. I was like, ooh, this is good. This is good. Now we can just get someone over that's not Don Callis with this shit. Then we got something. But we'll see how it goes. But as you mentioned, Takeshita. Callis mentions that like Takeshita is undefeated outside of the Callis family this year, as are you undefeated this year. So like this is a pseudo number one contenders match, but like they didn't like throw up the rankings because like they've disappeared again. So but like this is kind of
just came back
Oh, they did. Who's up?
Yeah.
All right, what were the rankings this week for the men's singles?
I don't think they like officially dropped, but like Tony Khan like addressed it on Twitter, and then Swerve won and Takesha's 2 or whatever,
Okay.
and they're fighting now.
Right. But that's kind of that was the point of the Callis promo, was like, outside of losing to Ospreay in your own faction, he's undefeated this year. So I was like, okay, works for me.
Bro, like this is like, this next week on Dynamite, we got Will versus Shibata.
Will versus Shibata.
Swerve versus Takesha, and the Young Bucks versus Private Party. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
Competition.
Right. We were talking about the Ospreay thing. I left that part out. Was like, he's talking about Danielson talking about Japan, and he mentioned like, he brought it over to talking about Shibata, and he talked about Danielson had a classic, and like students should watch this, and then talked about like, when I was young, Shibata beat the piss out of me, but like that was me when I was in my early 20s. How about now when I'm a grown ass man and I'm 30? And I was like, okay. And and also Shibata was in the third hour on Rampage getting a match where he's going to beat somebody in Presley. So it was all they're using them similar way to like how like Danielson used Akiyama for the Kingston thing, where it's like this person is like the measuring stick for like the transitive logic of our potential feud at the show. So it works. And like, look, man, Shibata and Ospreay, that's going to be great. That's going to be great.
Yep.
So, as you mentioned, like it is loaded, this next Dynamite. Let's see where we go from here. Oh, the main event. Main evento. Adam Copeland versus champion Christian Cage in I Quit match for the TNT title. I really, really, really enjoyed this fucking match. This match was fun as fuck.
Yeah.
They played all the hits. Edge comes out. He's in the white and blue like the Toronto Maple Leafs. I never really thought about Christian always wearing black, but then like they end up in the penalty box, and like there's a fan, and all of a sudden a Bruins jersey comes out. I was like, oh, you put them in the Bruins thing. Oh, that's great because they hate the Bruins. It's a great rivalry, greatest original six rivalry. And then Cope puts on the Maple Leafs one. It's like it matches the gear. I was like, oh, they've planned this out the whole time. Like he wore the gear because he knew the props were gonna be there. This is great. They hockey fight in the penalty box. They bring out a hockey stick along with the hockey goal. Like it was just a blast, man. Handcuffs. Obviously, they put Mother Wayne and the rest of Patriarchy out in the back so that they can later come and run out so they can then get the save from Garcia and Maynard. Yeah, man, just a great match. And then like he hit him with the nuts with Spike, and then he said I don't give up. And then he was like, he lifted that thing up. He was like, all right, I'll bosh your fuck ass in the head with this thing. And then Chris said, I give up. No, don't murder me. Don't murder me. You made it to where I can have kids this now. I was willing to call my champion because knowing I can't have no kids. I already got kids. I'm fine with that. But don't murder me for the belt. Good God, Cope, you psychopath.
/size says Rich got to apologize to Cope here too. I issued Adam Copeland a full apology on the flagship.
Hey, man.
Like he's just been so much better than
AEW
advertised.
Cope is so much better than that 2000 or 2020's run in WWE. So much better.
Like, yeah, let him have a TNT belt. Let him do his thing.
One thing I also noticed is that like after he won and the confetti's dropping, the ref didn't hand the TNT title to Copeland. Garcia did.
And remember, they did that non-finish with them.
Yep.
So,
So yeah, I'm into it. Like, I don't know how long Copeland should have it. I don't know like what the Cope and Christian stuff. Well, I know Chris is gonna be good regardless, but I don't know what Cope does moving on from Christian. But like, if it's as good as this Christian stuff, like bro, he's like, this is all just like luxury icing on the cake. That is like the stuff around Okada being here, Ospreay being here, and Mercedes being here. Like, he's a luxury. This Christian Cope thing has been a luxury. This wasn't paying the bills. This has been a blast. This has been like not.
I say it helped draw this. It helped draw this crowd. They were sold out. Yeah. So
no, I don't mean in that bad way. So I'm just saying like from the fandom of this watching. It's not from Canada. Like they've done great work together this whole entire time, ever since Wrestle Dream, when Cope came out, made the save. This whole thing has worked really well. The only problem I really had was like the Money in the Bank thing with Kill Switch. That's it. Outside that, perfect feud. Perfect feud. I've enjoyed it. Glad these two guys were able to do what they wanted to do with each other. I know Christian is going to be great. Moving past this, I just want to know what Cope's going to be doing next with the TNT title, and hopefully it is Garcia, but we'll see.
So yeah, let's go into some of these questions. We got a lot of questions, so I'm going to try to do these kind of quicker answers. But there are some lengthy ones. So
one thing I want to mention while we were during the match, it dawned on me. I was like, while watching the match, and they're like, this is so fucking great. I was like, like I got back into wrestling in 2011, and a lot of that was and what we was watching, it was like getting back and watching the SmackDown matches of Christian versus Randy Orton, and I was like, flash forward 15 years, Christian's still doing it. It's like, hey man, this is the reason why I was always like, what, Christian is really good. Nah, fuck that. I understood how good he was. He's great. Not that he's like some great work rate machine. He's just a great wrestler, like understanding all the tricks and how to make the crowd, do what it does. He just understands it. He just understands it really good, as always.
Yeah, man. So let's go to these questions, man. Black Saber Jr., peace and blessings. He said, with that one question a while back asking how the best friends with Fair at Freaknik. I watched the documentary, by the way. I'll ask y'all, how would the Elite, Bucks, Hangman, Okada, and Kenny fare at Freaknik?
How would the Bucks, Kenny Omega,
like the shoes.
Hangman, and who else? Is it?
Hangman, Okada, and Kenny.
Okada.
But Okada's pulling up in the Rari. He'll be just fine.
I have my concerns about Okada in Atlanta in the 90s. I have my concerns. He understands English, but does he understand Atlanta? Anyway.
No.
Yeah. So the Young Bucks, I don't know. I just don't. They're so family oriented that I have a hard time imagining them. You know what I'm saying?
Engaging in debauchery.
Not even necessarily engaging in debauchery, because obviously, they got kids. But
Yeah.
I just have a hard time.
They just got to show up with the rarest J's they got, and try not to get robbed.
I was about to say they ain't gonna take them shits off their feet. They little.
I think Kenny and Heyman will be drowning in it personally. And they do that thing.
I think Heyman would do the best.
Yeah. His second question: who has a better chance at the Hall of Fame, Kevin Love or DeMar DeRozan?
Ooh.
They're both going in.
Sorry?
They're both going in.
Okay. Has Kevin Love made more All-Star teams?
I think he made one in 2015. He made a couple.
Right? No.
I have to look it up.
Remember, in the early to mid 2010s, he was a perennial All-Star. But DeMar DeRozan, I don't think he's made an All-Star team since Toronto, has he? No way. No. He made one.
Maybe
in
on the Bulls.
He made one in Chicago, the year when they 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Kevin Love is a 5-time All-Star.
How many times? What, DeRozan?
Champion, gold medalist.
And he made all NBA teams.
Yeah.
I don't think DeRozan ever made an all NBA team.
I'll go with Kevin Love.
Look, man, if you're going by how we judge sports where peak matters, peak Kevin Love is a way better basketball player than peak DeMar DeRozan. Way better. DeRozan is career wise, gonna be you're gonna look at his number and be like, wow, he might already have 20,000 points for all.
He does.
Right,
bro. I think he has 25,000 points or
right.
Something
That's it's a lot of he was never like. Was he ever?
We were there.
Right. Like there's no 30-30 game, and like I remember him getting his ass absolutely destroyed by LeBron all them years. Like they traded him and they immediately won a title without him.
With us entering the Sweet 16, who do you have winning March Madness for the men's and the women's side? I'm just gonna go UConn, and I'm going with Caitlin Clark, baby. I do not want Kim Mulkey to prosper. And I'm waiting for that Washington Post article to drop. Where's that?
I'm waiting for that to drop, but I still think LSU is winning. So yeah, there's that for the women's side. For the men's side, like I have not watched enough men's hoop to be honest with you to give you a declaration. But like I can tell you who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for my team, North Carolina. But like, do I think they'll win? I don't know. I don't necessarily think this team is built to survive the ebbs and flows and the ridiculous like shooting streaks that is the NCAA tournament. Like that's not a good 3-point shooting team. I don't know how like they're bound to like lose a game because they got outmathed. They're just bound to lose because they got outmathed. Yeah,
man. I don't know, man. Like all them guys on Carolina, they've been around a while. Yeah,
they don't shoot threes, so it doesn't matter. RJ Davis shoot threes, but the rest of them no.
Was Ed Code All-Stars that starting lineup?
I mean, really, it's just RJ and Armando Bacot. The rest of them are younger.
Did you see that meme?
Sorry?
Did you see that meme where their starting five has an older average age than the Thunder?
No, but that's funny.
That's what I said. It was an Ed Code All-Stars.
That's funny.
With Big U going to Rossi's promotion, are you ready for another Utami Ace run? How impactful has Utami been to the full history of Stardom? Will she go down as a top 10 act all time in Stardom history and the best moments from her time there?
Hard to say. As far as top 10 all time, because it was she was there long enough to be someone to land there. But I didn't watch the whole history of Stardom, so I can't speak on that. Like my wheelhouse is basically late 2018 to now. So for
since
me,
I've been watching, she's in the top 10.
Yeah. She's definitely someone that's like, if she's not in the like, okay, I don't want to say she's in the top 5, but like she has to be in the top 10 in my opinion. Like, obviously you had the Freedom, Tam, Julia, Shuri, her, and then you could throw in some other people, but like, yeah, she's in the conversation definitely. Like, cause a lot of people like left and came back, like Yoko Bito, like Hashiki, and she was there for just 5 straight, or since 2018 straight. Like, basically, I'm more or less like when she debuted like the week before the 5-star Grand Prix in 2018. Like, that's kind of how far back I go to watching Stardom or watching so many of them, like to where I'd be like, I know what was going on in the storyline. So like, yeah, like One Nation Radio's like knowledge of Stardom basically is Utami's whole career in Stardom. So yeah.
So thoughts on like that?
Oh wait, moments. We're supposed to go moments, right?
Oh, moments. The cage match last year. I'll also say her winning the red belt from Mayu, and of course the Shuri series.
The Shuri feud. And I don't know if you call it a rivalry, but the feud, like, I mean, for me, it's the second best thing I've ever seen in Stardom, as far as like the way it was set up. Her red belt run was so good. It's like it's one of those things like you have to decide between whether it's her or Shuri that had the best red belt run ever. It's one of those two. There's like. It ain't none of these Io runs. It's not the Mayu run, even though Mayu's like peak was as good as theirs. It just wasn't. Like the consistency of like you're getting Utami in the red belt and you're getting 4 1/4 or better every single time. It was amazing. And it sucks that she's leaving Stardom because like I thought she was destined to have a second run. I just thought it was destined for her to have a second run. And
Zach, better than Bees. I'll say Bees better than Tams.
You can't say that because what's Bees best? What is Bees' best title match? What was Bees' best title match?
I had to pull her reign. It's been a while. I can't remember.
Right, let's see. I can go through it in my head. She won it off Kagetsu.
That was a great match.
Yeah, but that's not her reign. reign happened after she pinned. So you got that. You got a match with the title change to Mayu, a match with Azuki, a match with Konami, a match with Momo? Maybe a match with Momo. Yeah, I have to pull up. But yeah, it definitely wasn't, like, the peak of the stuff was not better than, like, the Megan Bayne match, the match with, Mirai, the match with, who was her second title run with? I can't remember, but, like, the peak was not as good, but, like, either way, both, like, not the Mayu run, not the Shuri run, not the Shuri run, or, not the Utami run, definitely not.
Let's see. Thoughts on Like That? We kind of talked about it earlier. It was a good song. Nothing like crazy or anything. But,
I saw people saying like it was
going
like,
nuts.
I saw people saying like it's not even just like because of the hoopla. People were like, this is like an all time Metro Woman beat. I was like, nah, no.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because it has a lot more like character than most Metro Woman beats.
But it's the same sample flip from an E40 song.
Yeah.
But it's like, so like, it's not like some, I've never heard this before. I have heard this before.
Yeah, it's yeah. They literally looped the same shit up. People were literally putting out like the Lil Wayne freestyle, like putting it up, like because they wanted to hear that. Yeah. Blast Saber Jr. Wait, another Zeke was also top Stardom talent. You want to have singles or tag matches at Forbidden Door. Shuri, Sai Kamitani.
Well, a lot of this comes down to who's going to be the champion. Like, if it's going to be, if Mercedes is going to be on the show, which I imagine so, like, it only makes sense for Mayu to be on there to get her win back. I don't know how well Shuri does a first run in Stardom. Or sorry, in AEW. I just don't know. Like, she's someone that has to, like, you have to get used to the part where, like, she's going to kick and hit the shit out of people and wrestle really stiff. And, like, you have to have someone that's going to be in there and want to do that. Right, Mercedes has showcased that she's willing to go out there and get that forehead dotted, to get this done. So like, you need someone in there that's really about that shit. So yeah, for me, it'd be Mayu just because like she just fits. She knows how to wrestle American indie style wrestling or AEW style wrestling. She knows all the tricks.
Are there any more dream matches in men's or women's wrestling?
I mean, sure, just based off people being locked down in contracts.
Yeah. I like AEW has like most people on the rosters. Like, I mean, they just haven't like crossed paths yet.
Right.
I don't know necessarily. Like, do you want to see Roman Reigns fight X amount of people from AEW one day? Maybe. I don't know.
I'm sure for a bunch of AEW. For a bunch of WWE fans, they want to see a Roman Reigns versus Kenny Omega match. For me, I'm like, no, thank you. Yeah, I don't want to see Kenny Omega in a match where there's like 40 motherfuckers running out and ref pulls and
I know how those go.
Yeah, it's like,
I know how those go.
Right, I don't want to see that shit. The same way I don't want to see House of Torture Forbidden Door.
Yeah. Another question: since there was no award show, who would have won the 2023 Jeff Jarrett Finesser of the Year award? Roman Reigns.
Muto probably.
Roman Reigns for me, bro. That man basically had one match after WrestleMania. It went the fuck home, two matches. He had a tag match.
He had a tag match set up the Survivor or SummerSlam match.
Sorry, I undersold him by one match.
How many matches? Well, I mean, look, how many matches exactly did Muto have? Muto got a dome match or a dome show to retire.
I mean, it wasn't really finessing that. He kind of earned it,
He got everybody, he got every wrestling promotion together to do it. He had a fucking super card.
I feel like the year before he was much more like on the finessing path or whatever. It was like he was kind of, kind of earning it.
Okay.
Look, remember that man wanted to rock.
That's right. He did say that. Yeah, he said he inquired about the Rock. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, but yeah. John Moxley, King Dom, he says, John Moxley, the big me in the Shield debate. Depends who you ask. Ain't no big three niggas, just big me.
Look, if we're going to compare the resumes of these people since Moxley left WWE, it's not a competition. Like, Moxley clears both of them easily. In quality, just does. Like, he's in a place that's more conducive, or he's in more places that's conducive towards, like, having quality programs, promos, and matches. Just is what it is.
He's a better talker than both. He produces better matches than both at a way larger frequency than both.
Right.
So,
like, there is no Kenny Omega John Moxley match or feud or rivalry on like Roman Reigns' or Seth Rollins' resume since 2019. Just not. The closest thing you got is like Cody and Rollins. That's it.
Yeah. Better Mania opener, Brett versus Owen or Bryan versus Triple H? Ooh, that is tough. That is tough.
I can't remember the last time I watched the WrestleMania 10 match, so I can't really. I'd be unfair speaking on it because I in my mind I'm thinking like personally for me it was more cathartic seeing seeing Triple H catch that fucking knee.
I think if you're just talking about like impressive moves and match layout, I think you're gonna go Brett Owen, but like. I think Danielson and Triple H, that's like the best Triple H singles match ever. like with regular rules on them.
The build tour was so good in the video package and all that shit. Like, look, man, Triple H deserves all the shit that he gets from people. But, I ain't gonna say no but. Moving on. The whole thing in the build towards, like, WrestleMania. Remember when he had that video package where Stephanie was narrating? He was like, people come and go, but there's always a game. Like, that shit was awesome. I'm sorry. I understand you hate him, and that makes it gets you, the part where he's been on top forever makes you hate him. But, like, that shit was so well done. It really was. And, like, the part where, like, he finally put someone over, like, nah, you will lay down for Daniel Bryan. It was awesome.
Sam. Yeah. Sam says, I've been listening since the beginning and just now I saw Rich's background. Incredible. Yes, exactly. Playing with me for years. So rank all Roman Reigns' WrestleMania main event matches from worst to best. Jesus Christ. Two of them were good. The rest of them sucked. Unforgivably sucked.
Man, like that's a lot, man.
I can't do the whole rank thing. There's WrestleMania 31, that's on top. There's Cody Rhodes, that's right next to it, and then the rest of them is nothing but pure shit. Like, awful. Yeah. Someone completely out of their depth as a wrestler, in with the wrong opponent, likely. And some of these matches feature so either the most dead crowds possible in the biggest buildings possible, or the most hijacked matches I've ever seen.
Here's my question for you.
Awful.
What's the worst match? WrestleMania 33 or 34? Which one's worse?
34.
34 is worse? Is it because of the crowd hijacking or like the actual play of the match?
It's the crowd hijacking it. It's the see-through layout of the match because we all knew what they were doing with all those F5s
but
and
it wasn't nearly as sad though because it was like, yo, like what the fuck? Undertaker has no business being in the ring. You know what I mean?
True.
Like it was bad. Where it's like this match is bad because it's sad. The other match is bad because it's see through in what they're trying to accomplish, and like no one's going for it.
Yeah,
like it wasn't like they're athletically. No one needs to be in the ring. Go ahead.
Then they did the wrong winner at 34, so it was like, yeah, this shit's not ending. So it was just like, oh no, like.
Well, listen to that crowd at the WrestleMania 33 the night after. Like it was the wrong winner won at 33-2.
Stupid. Floyd says 33 was Undertaker's version of Willie Mays on the Mets. Hey,
you gotta remember that man. Look, they set that man up for the big L. Hey, we know you got hip surgery, but can you come to the Rumble? Can you main event WrestleMania? Yeah. No one's gonna say no to that.
Look, that man backdoored his way into a main event. That shit was like nobody knew what the main event of that show was until the day they didn't sell that shit on.
I mean, that was like the last time they had a great. I think we like, yeah, bro. No, 34 was great too. But like they had like 6 matches that were like, yeah, I care about these matches. 6 of them. Like I think we had 6 different people come on to talk about the individual bills. Yeah, that was really well done at the time. And then 34 is even better. And then the show was stuck again. We're like, all right, enough. We've given up. Enough.
Rank all of Triple H's WrestleMania. All right, we ain't doing that one.
Come on.
Yeah, they all trash.
This is
every one of them.
No, like, hey, he performed a humiliation ritual for us. Like,
Right.
Can you sit here and talk through these matches where the wrong person won majority of the time? No, thank you.
Kingdom, which one do you like to do more? Produce music or just rapping? I
mean, personally, just producing. So go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, you see, you know, James got a secret hard drive. You know,
you love saying that. I do not.
But I don't know, man, because my primary thing was to make beats to rap or whatever. So it's like you intrinsically do both. And I guess I get different like joys out of each of them because I make beats for other people. It's like sending off my children into the world. Essentially, like here I'm handing my beat to you. Please do it well or whatever. But I honestly don't know which one I like more. I don't know. Like I've been rapping longer than I make beats, but I guess I can make beats forever, but you quote unquote can't rap forever. So I don't know. Tough question. So
I mean, you can rap forever. Just Andre 3000, I think so. Andre 3000 be like, even if you go out here still scoring 50, you need to stop because you are too old. Like
right.
That man has convinced himself. Like nah.
That man has handicapped himself.
Yeah,
cut his own leg off like Mother Joe.
Yeah, James, where your beats at, brother? I haven't made a beat since. I think the last beats I made were like the beginning of the pandemic. Then I stopped because like, yo, this is too depressing. I need to do something else besides just put headphones on. It's been a minute.
King of the North with Modi City Machine Guns as free agents. Do you think they head on over to AEW? I feel like they've earned that run as their own creation. Sure. Bucks will need somebody to wrestle.
Right. And I don't know where they go if they don't go there.
Yeah, like they don't seem like they'll walk into WWE with any type of substantial push.
They what they do? They put them in NXT and let them like teach and be vets and teach people. Because remember, Saban did show up for that Kushida match. Remember that?
Drastically different NXT. I feel like
that's true.
Sending these guys after all their years in the business to go hang out with them fucking kids at the fucking at the NXT shit in front of those same fans 20 years into their career. This is like a slap in the face to them. I feel like get your ass out there and work at AEW and get paid a real contract.
It depends on what they want to do. That's all I'm saying.
King Dom, overall thoughts on the whole ghostwriting topic in rap. If Drake offers you to be his ghostwriter, would you take him up to take him up on his offer? Okay. First of all, I have no respect for people that use ghostwriters as far as like lyricists or considering them great. Like, that's just me though. I would write for Drake in a second. Like,
I was like, what kind of question is that?
In a second. Like as far as like, but that's me. Like, because I consider rap just such kind of a personal thing. Like I can't think you're great on some Milli Vanilli shit. Like it doesn't hit for me the same. But there has been ghostwriting in rap literally since the beginning. So
yeah,
like
and in every other genre of music, and we're too cute with this. We romanticize this shit way too much.
Who's done more damage to hip hop between Suge Knight and Puff? Jesus Christ. There was a while Suge Knight couldn't go. Obviously, Suge Knight's going to jail for shit. And, Diddy's, fleeing the law now. I don't know. I don't know about damage because, Suge Knight was a big, scary, bad guy, for even after Death Row was over. So, I mean, 15 years after, I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Because, Puff wasn't really about damaging hip hop. He was about, getting the money.
I think I'll go with Puffy. he stole too much money from too many people that were talented and were people that were old.
That's a good point.
So for me, I think from that perspective alone, I'll go with Puffy. And it's also like, the thing with Puffy is like, it's not just rap with him. Like, he was also heavily influential in 90s R&B as well. So it's like, he was damaging to not just rap, he was damaging to all of black music, or popular black music at the time. So like, yeah, it's like, it goes from Total to 112 to Mario Winans. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Better double album, All Eyes on Me or Life After Death? Life After Death, without question. Now,
don't get me wrong, there are people that like, whose music opinions I respect, that like have issues with like the second CD on Life After Death, but it's like, no, man. Both great albums, but Life After Death for me.
Yeah. There's some stuff on disc 2, but all the hits on All Eyes on Me are on disc 1. And Mike, then there's good stuff.
I'm sorry, Mike. You kill me with this Tampa lingo. It's crazy. We move on.
Who does James believe fills the spots that Utami, Julia, Yuzuki, and Mai Sakurai leave behind? Mai isn't a big player, but I feel like now is the time to run Starlight Kid versus Zumi for the white belt. Why are you aiming so low? Why not the red?
Well, you gotta expect that like they have to build towards that if they ever get there, because I honestly think there is like a cutoff of like, if you are below 5'1", they have a hard time wanting to push you at a certain level, unless you're Io Shirai. But Io Shirai was like really muscular, and if
there is no tomorrow.
Thank you, Apollo. Yeah, so like I think that they have artificially put, for years I felt this. They placed like restrictors on both of them in their progress, and especially Azumi. Like the Starlight Kid thing makes no sense to me. Like okay, so I don't know, Rich, if you knew this, but in the route that Hannon took to win the Silver tournament this year, she had to beat Mirai. She had to beat Starlight Kid, and then she had to beat Ami in the final. Like, and Azumi was in the other end of the figure four, or the final four. She lost to Ami in order for Hannah to beat Ami in the final. I was like, well, if you want her to get over to a certain level, put her in there with Azumi and just have Hannah beat Azumi. So like, there's this weird thing. I don't know, but yeah, just as far as replacing the wrestlers, so you mentioned the people that all left, right? Who's going to fill these slots in particular? Like the fill the Utami role. I don't know if in Julia role. I'm not necessarily sure. I mean, you can have Suzu fill the Julia role. As far as Utami, I don't know, because my answer would be Micah. Because Micah's right now currently the Red Belt champion. So I mean, they kind of stumbled into that. Like that wasn't the plan, but like kind of right now she is. She is. They just had the match, like in the main event of the Cinderella main or final. So yeah, I guess Micah. Who else was mentioned? Mirai. Hard to say, because like
Yuzuki and Mai Sakurai.
Mirai Sakurai's a comedy geek, and Yuzuki's a rookie. So like, you can be like Aya Sakura and be like, okay. Yeah. As far as Mirai, I'm not sure, because like,
Anna J can fit the Utami role. That's great. That's stupid. Oh.
How do we boot this person?
Shannon Wills, do we finally get Utami and Julia, and if so, when? I think that's going to be Julia's last match before she leaves to America.
Yeah, it's got to be. They got to have. I don't know how to keep the lights on if they don't do that.
J. Antonio Teodoro, which AEW midcard champion would you send to do a title defense at SGW Uganda? Roderick Strong. Y'all want to hit hard and work hard? All right, we got somebody for you over here. We'll send over. He don't mind that.
I was gonna send Okada, but okay.
You stupid. Okada ain't trying to bump in that mud.
Like, nah, let him pull up. Let him pull up in the Ferrari. Let him wear the white outfit, and let him go out there and get dirty.
Literally get in the mud.
Tell the pretty boy to get dirty.
Real quick. So underrated or overrated. So I'm just gonna read names off, and then I'll say underrated. You say
yeah,
underrated or overrated. Tomohiro Ishii, underrated.
Underrated.
Yoshihashi, underrated.
Underrated.
Sonata, overrated.
He's an IWGP champion, underrated. Or sorry, overrated. Sorry.
Hiroki Goto, overrated. Actually, underrated. Excuse me.
Underrated. Yeah.
The Miz,
properly rated.
Yeah. Dolph Ziggler, underrated.
I'm gonna say properly rated because there have been some times he was sorry too, and I don't mean like sorry athlete or sorry match. Just like his character was sorry.
Adam Cole, overrated.
I'm gonna say properly rated, and like I don't know, man. It's weird. Like the further we get away from NXT, like the more people pretend like the shit never happened. It's weird to me. Like I don't get it. And like when the dude's been healthy, he's produced. When he hasn't. Like I don't. Not everybody can be Kenny Omega and just hop off the emergency room table or whatever else. Just go out there and go 5 stars. Like, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with what he's done. It's just, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's like, because people, it's the body stuff with him. It's a lot. It's like he gets stuff that people like. Why? He seems like a relatively nice guy. Why do people like not like him?
Jumping over.
I don't get it. It's like it's not like he doesn't do numbers. He does do numbers. He did numbers in NXT against AEW. He was like the only person that did, aside from like Io and Riddle. Strange.
Jay White. I'm gonna say overrated.
I mean,
because you talk to some people and
New Japan Pro Wrestling, Jay White. Overrated.
Well, I would say this. I was like, motherfuckers act like this is like one of the 5 best wrestlers in the world. Like it's not. Like I don't. Hiromu Takahashi, overrated.
Huh. I want to say properly rated. Like has great rivals, has great matches, all-time matches. Super over, broke his neck, still great.
Yeah, I guess I'm just holding against him. Like used to be greater, so I don't like basically was like
he broke his fucking neck. Rich, give him a fucking
like
break.
This man was like a glitch, like a highlight film, and like he's just not no more.
And then his neck glitched.
yeah.
Fuck.
Randy Orton, overrated,
easy.
Desperado. Underrated so long that he's properly rated.
I think he's overrated. Historically, like the whole,
Seth Rollins, overrated.
Overrated, yeah.
Roman Reigns,
overrated.
Jimmy and Jay Uso.
God damn. All right. Overrated.
If you're talking about them as like the greatest tag team of all time or something, absolutely not. So
if you were comparing them to FTR or the Young Bucks or any like really successful tag team or whatever else, then you have to, especially like the last few years. Like this bloodline thing has hurt them as far as their in-ring quality. It is
like
what
it's funny because I always thought Jimmy was the leader and then Jay like became the leader.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Same.
FTR, underrated or overrated?
Properly rated.
I'll say underrated because, like, I think they were part of some of the greatest matches in NXT.
Yep.
And obviously they've had a lot of great matches in AEW.
Yep.
They're just annoying as all fuck.
They are.
Like, annoying as all fuck to the point where it's like, yo, I wouldn't mind if you just left my screen for a while. Like, and with that level of talent they have, that should not be the case. Like,
I think for a lot of people that just see them as, malcontents or whatever else, because they are like
Floyd. Y'all have me sitting at attention for your answers.
Yeah, I think they're probably rated. Like, I think a lot of people are kind of like in that same feeling like you just mentioned. Like, they are annoying as fuck, but goddamn, they're good. Is that like? So I think they're probably rated. Like, they've been multiple time tag champions at this point. Had a triple crown a year ago, 2 years ago. Yeah, like, they're respected. They're annoying, but they're respected.
Liv Morgan, overrated as fuck.
Overrated.
Alexa Bliss.
Are you serious? It's on there?
I'm serious. I would say overrated.
Overrated. She's been a world champion. So has Liv.
Sheamus, underrated.
It's weird, his career. He was overrated at the first, and now he's underrated. It
was funny. He was overrated, then he was underrated, then he was overrated as fuck again, and now he's underrated again.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Claudio Castagnoli.
Also said, how many times was world champion?
Multiple.
2 times? 3 times?
At least 4 times.
Yeah, he might be overrated historically. Whole length of the WWE tenure.
Mm-hmm. Claudio.
I mean, underrated.
Underrated, yeah.
Yeah.
King Dom, is it too soon for Naito to lose the IWGP Heavyweight Championship? No.
I would say yes. 'Cause like, at what point does the fucking guy that sells the merch and draw the houses get the long title run? How many more times are we going to make him a chaser? Like, the reason why they made Dusty Rhodes the chaser was because they had Ric Flair. Ric Flair just left for America in a Ferrari.
He drove across the ocean.
Well, he had it shipped, imported, But you get my point. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh man.
But I will say this: if he were to lose to a Jon Moxley, potentially or whatever else, it would be hilarious for me to pull up that Naito clip there that they pull every single time that that someone leaves post Nakamura talking about like, why are we always being number 2 to these companies or to this company or whatever else? We know you want to try to be number 1. Is like, well, apparently not, because you laid down for the Death Rider. So I don't want to hear that shit.
Hey man,
either way,
I'm letting y'all know right now. I'm letting y'all know right now. Jon Moxley is the new IWGP champion. I'm gonna end up getting blocked on Twitter by some people. So let y'all know now.
He's like, oh, so when someone downcycles to AEW, so they can be the fucking IWGP World Champion. It's like, what?
How about that? Look,
he found it the roll call so he can lose to niggas on the downturn. Okay. He lost the top singles match or top singles belt in New Japan Pro Wrestling to a person that's an AEW tag wrestler right now. Nasty, really nasty.
Boy, I'm gonna get real nasty when I tell them that they needed an American to save the IWGP Championship from Tetsuya Naito. I'm gonna get real nasty.
That's crazy. Like, if you wanted the Naito fans that hate that hate on Okada or hate on Omega after what happened over the last 5 years, for you to lose,
it ain't even one of them. It's somebody else.
For him to lose to Jon Moxley. Oh, buddy, you got to be 38 hot.
Oh shit! I only wish it was Kenny. I only wish it was Kenny.
Floyd, I'm not disagreeing with you. My point is my point. Because he said Mox elevates any title he has. He does, but it's gonna be hilarious to see these Naito fans.
Look, the second that nigga don't make Road 2 Night 5 in Bipu somewhere,
oh boy,
they about to get active. Who would you rather party with, Oscar De La Hoya or P. Diddy? I'm going home. Y'all heard how Oscar gets down?
Who has this?
King Dom homie. Look, I'll say this. I do not have any desire to put on the women's clothing or anything like that.
Wait, but here's my question. if I remember correctly,
you know that's how Oscar gets down, right?
Right, but I don't know if he had other people dress along with him or if it was just him. I can't remember.
I feel like if you're at the party with Oscar De La Hoya and the subject comes up, like he may be like, "Do you want to put this shit on?" And I would be like, "Afraid not, sir. I'm going to head out."
Well, okay, so I have to be like, "You got some of my size to begin with." Because what? Like, wait, hold on. You mean to tell me you got the XL or double XL just on hand for any occasion? Like, that's wild.
He'd be like, yeah, top shelf to the left. Like,
once he be like, my face goes from laughing to, all right, I'm out. I gotta go. It's time to go. I'm out this. Anyway,
like, I you have fun with that, Oscar.
Yeah, I ain't dressing up for nobody of my own. What do you call it? My own consent. Nope. If you see me dressed up crazy, I've been forced.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I have no answers. The answer is no.
Oh no, yeah, I'll take my ass home. Push. Uber.
Yeah. I'll walk.
Where does
I'll walk. Absolutely fuck not. I'm out of here. I'll foot it. In these Converse or these Vans, I'm out of here.
It says, where does Rockies guard Jalen Green rank in the NBA Raw Dog Championship race? Is he ahead of Zion and Ant-Man or behind them?
Wait, say that again?
Where does Jalen Green rank in the race for the NBA Raw Dog Championships? Because he has that much older lady.
I'm going to say he ranks at below them because, like, he's just in a relationship, isn't he? I could swear he's in a relationship with that.
I believe he's just in a relationship with
her. Right. He ain't doing nothing wrong. He just, people, oh my God, this young guy with a pocket full of money married this woman that, like, we know her be famous for messing with other famous men, and she's older, so, like, it's, we don't know how to treat a woman having agency. So, like, it's one of those. Whatever.
Yeah, Zion, like Jalen Green has not given us nothing like send the video.
Right. There is no porn star that's on his ass, like, saying, you was kissing, you was spitting in my mouth, and I was spitting in your mouth, and you just had this baby. I was totally unaware. Like that Zion Mariah Mills shit was ridiculous. Or Mariah, whatever her name is, it was just outrageous. Like she was letting the chopper saying on that man every day on Twitter for like a week.
Next question comes from my man Conrad from Everything Pro Wrestling. He says, what does AEW need to do to better fill up the arenas, and how long will support stay for AEW Fight Forever? I love the game and enjoy listening to the tracks. Rich, thanks for considering these questions. As far as the attendance has been doing pretty good lately in these bigger cities. Yeah. I would say like this new kind of team that's in place now, like you got to kind of allow that team to get itself over, because like it's like the attendance doesn't turn around on a dime. That doesn't work how it works for ratings. That doesn't like the last thing to typically go is like the pay-per-view business or whatever, because that has always remained strong. So I think this we need to let this summer play out. Like if we're talking about the fall and it's like, yeah, man, they're struggling, like then I think things need to kind of be like, readjusted.
Yeah, I'm with you. They might want to downsize arenas if it comes down to that. But what I will say is AEW Big Show still do well. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I've heard, I have some theories. Obviously, if I had any of these answers, I would not be telling them to you. I'd be telling them to Tony Khan and be collecting a check every 2 weeks. But, we're not there yet. But yeah, like, I feel like if they were to have, one thing or two things announced 2 weeks in advance, that would behoove them. That would do them well. Like when they announced, the Christian I Quit match with Copeland, that was weeks in advance. It did well. Big Business was announced weeks in advance. It did well. Obviously, it had two gigantic in-ring debut and also a fake surprise debut, but it did well. I would suggest that like they kind of get a game plan, because it seems like they have circled the horses around, like getting these programs into the fire, people to know that like this is where we're headed for pay-per-view time more than a month in advance. It's now like, all right, what is the weekly TV going to be 2 weeks in advance? 3 weeks in advance. Even if it's just a promo, I think that will help. Or like, okay, we're at this stage in this thing, so we're going to have this kind of confrontation verbally or physically. I think that will help. And I think I've heard Meltzer and Alvarez mention that, and I agree with them because like the wrestling, early NXT in its prime and AEW at the beginning was built on that as like, I know what's going to happen almost 2 weeks in advance. I know there's going to be a one match, one person's going to be here 2 weeks in advance. And he has something to look forward to and build anticipation. It helps. Not to say these shows haven't been great of late, but it definitely helps.
Skip. So not all these questions are probably going to make it in. But let's go to Curry Goat. He said, what are your thoughts on the build to this year's WrestleMania? To me, from the outside looking in, it looks like a disjointed mess. In the space of a few weeks, The Rock has made Rome Monologues 4-year title reign look like a waste of everyone's time. Or has The Rock made it look like a waste of everyone's time? If Cody doesn't win next week, do WWE fans storm the Capitol? Yeah. So,
I mean, they
I guess
they're in their kingdom.
Yeah. I'll start there. If Cody doesn't win next week, they should probably think about closing the company.
It would be monumentally dumb if Cody did not leave WrestleMania 40 with the double title thing. It would be dumb. It'd be dumb. It'd be very, very dumb.
The Rock has swallowed Roman Reigns up in the aura.
Okay. Like TD Jakes, have you ever been swallowed? Like you can't be doing that right now. You can't be doing it at a time like this.
And it's so funny that like now they will, much like they've done for other things, try to recast it as the stroke of genius on their part. But like they would have never had the bright idea to turn The Rock heel on their own. Like they were just content at rolling him out there as the same corny guy he's been kind of for a decade. And this is much, I think, more engaging for sure.
Oh yeah.
As far as like the rest of the build, like I don't know. I like what Drew McIntyre is doing.
Yes,
but I don't think he's gonna win. I think Seth Rollins.
McIntyre did get left laying by Rollins last night. He did.
I don't think Rollins impresses me at all. A lot of people were saying the only really good thing about this whole thing has been The Rock. Everything's been so convoluted. The hottest thing they're building up is a match that is not scheduled, which is Cody versus The Rock.
Yes, I think Cody has done well too. Like the promo about his mom when he goes to tears, that actually is good, but like the way The Rock clowned it made it not seem good. And also like we're aware of Cody's fake crying game in a way that WWE fans are not. They'll be aware of it. Like, and they'll be aware of it in like 2 years when they're like, wait, he does fake cry and tears don't come out a lot.
Cody clearly seems handcuffed by what he's allowed to say to The Rock because his content could hit way harder.
Right. You can talk about him failing and ending up back here, but obviously he's not because
that, yeah.
Right.
It would be too real.
No, Cody's Floyd. All Cody's tears are 100% real. Yes, they're real when they actually fall out of his eyes. They don't fall out of his eyes.
It's like that man's like a trained actor. Like he's whipping himself into tears.
Yeah,
he's not like talking and then overcome with natural emotion. No, he's working.
Yeah.
Ryan Evans, who you guys say is a better wrestler, Julia Hart or Liv Morgan? I feel like this is just for me, Ryan Evans. Don't be trying to act funny like this and make me go against the ethos of the show. I will not give you the pleasure of letting Liv Morgan win on this. So I'm going to say Julia Hart just off principle because Liv Morgan will never win. That's why.
I personally would rather have Julia Hart on my wrestling promotion than Liv. She's younger, therefore has more room to grow. And like, she is when they're both at their best, right? It is Julia Hart wrestling Chris Statlander or it's Liv wrestling Rhea. I think Rhea's better than Stat. So, you know what I'm saying? So I give the nudge to Julia in that sense.
Appreciate you standing by me here. Okay. This is a weird one. King Dom sending us some weird ones. How would these artists do in a versus battle against Michael Jackson? Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye would lose. Rick James.
Rick James would lose worse.
Rick James would lose.
Worse than Marvin Gaye.
Stevie Wonder. I've never listened to Stevie Wonder like that. And actually, I'm not much of a fan of Stevie Wonder.
I believe that Stevie Wonder is the best music act of the entire 70s. I also believe that he is the best songwriter that is in the non-rap category ever. EVER. So, yeah. I did not cry when Michael Jackson died. When Stevie Wonder dies, I will cry like a baby. I don't know. I'll put it to you like that. Like, if you go through the entire Stevie Wonder discography and go through, like, Songs of the Key of Life, Songbook, like, basically his late 60s through mid 70s run, it actually can compete with the Michael Jackson stuff. It can, and there's more of it too. So, like, it's hard. Like, how do I say this? Stevie Wonder has, like, hits like Prince, but, like, a discography like, hits like Michael, but like a discography like Prince, if you catch my drift. Like, he's like the best of both worlds in that situation. Like, he's prolific and has like these incredible, like, all-time songs. Not to say that Prince doesn't, but you get my drift. Like, hit records. It's hard. It's hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. In fact, this is what I'm gonna do. Push and leave. I'm not doing a versus between Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder. I can't do it. My heart can't take that one. No, thank you.
Next on the list, Prince.
Ooh,
I think Prince got too much, bro. He got other people's music.
Okay. Here's the problem with Prince.
We don't know what Prince will play.
There's that, and there's also the part where it's like
Prince will say, "Fuck you! I'm playing everything from 2002 to 2005. Go to hell." Right.
Prince will be like, "Yeah, I'm not playing anything on Purple Rain or 1999." It's like, what are you doing? It's hard. Like, I'm just gonna play the Batman album. Like, what the fuck? All right. Yeah.
I don't know. I like Prince's stuff a lot more, but
I believe that Michael Jackson will beat Prince in a verse the same way that, like, I think a lot of people will beat Lil Wayne in a verse, where it's like he's gonna play the wrong thing at the wrong time, and I believe someone like Michael Jackson have his mind all right, be like, nope, I'm playing Thriller, sorry. Nope, I'm playing Beat It, sorry. Nope, I'm playing, you know what I'm saying? I'm playing, Remember the Time. Like, he's not gonna fuck around, and I think that, like, so many people with, like, these gigantic, like, decade-spanning discographies, like, they get bogged down on, like, what, like, people think of them when you play their music, and it kind of catches them at times in trouble. If they don't have, like, the absolute, like, heater of the album that encapsulates their whole entire mythos or their legend or whatever. And Prince has that, because, like, Prince has a bunch of classics, same way Michael does, but, like, Michael's not going to be like, I'm going to play something off the Invincible album. He's not going to do that. He's not.
Usher. I think Usher gets stomped out.
Michael walks him. Like, Michael walks him. No offense to Usher, but he gets walked.
Lionel Richie
walked even destroyed. Walked even worse than Usher, even including the Commodore stuff.
Whitney Houston.
So, are we performing?
I don't know. Like, I don't think Whitney has enough, but what she does have, she's coming out guns fucking blazing.
And also the thing is, if they're performing it vocal to vocal, like Michael, like, there are people that do not think Michael has perfect vocals or whatever else, and I'm like, I can see what you mean, but I disagree. Whitney is a perfect singer, vocalist. So, like, if it comes down to just performing and Michael can't dance, she can compete in a way that like other people just can't because like she's almost one like the voice. Like I actually saw someone playing like they were doing this. It was stupid. The stupid argument they were making like they were like vocals over songwriting or whatever else, and they showed Michael. It showed like live performances of Whitney like sweat up a storm and just like doing these incredible things. I was like, you don't want to use maybe the greatest singer of my lifetime to illustrate this point that makes no sense. Cause like, all right, well then why you listen to people doing this ski bop, ski batty do shit for jazz? Oh, we don't do that anymore because that's fucking dumb. Oh, okay. Maybe you want to have some like coherent lyrics. Maybe, just maybe. So yeah, yeah. Whitney would give Michael a run that like people would not expect, but I'll still go with Michael.
Yeah, I think Whitney's like Prince and Whitney are my two so far. I think
because Whitney come out here and sing the fucking national anthem. What? I just played Beat It. Okay. Oh, say, can you what? How did she win? She sang that sorry ass song and won.
Bobby Brown, not enough.
No, not enough. Not enough.
Got a lot of songs, but not enough.
Yeah. Don't Be Cruel is an incredible album. Incredible album, but no.
James Brown.
Ooh. That's one of them ones. Like you mentioned,
that's tough.
You mentioned Stevie, and you mentioned Bobby or James Brown. Those two are could win, and depending on the right circumstance. Yeah.
Mariah Carey. That is very tough. Lots of hits. Lots of great singing.
She has a lot of hits. Her career has basically tracked longer. She's a better vocalist. I don't know if she has any songs or enough songs that grab people in their soul in the same way that Michael Jackson has like 24 songs that have grabbed people in their souls.
It's like she's just one tier lower.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. She's in the Pantheon, but she's not on Mount Rushmore.
LL Cool J is on this list.
Are rappers on here?
There are
no rappers here for this. There just aren't. No offense to the Kanyes, the Drakes, the Jay-Z's, whoever else you want to mention, Nas, whatever else, Tupac, Biggie. There are no rappers here. Sorry.
Janet Jackson.
No.
Jen don't have enough.
Love, Rhythm Nation. No. And look, like, don't get me wrong, like, what is, in your opinion, what is Michael Jackson's best song of the 90s?
Michael Jackson's best song of the 90s.
Yeah.
So that would be
Hold on, you broke up a little bit.
Dangerous. I said that would be Dangerous and After, right?
Yeah. In history.
Guess you gotta say like.
Is it Scream?
Say Scream, right? You gotta say Scream,
right? Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Like they produced that. That is Janet's folks producing that for Michael. You know what I'm saying? Like so, it's like I don't know. Like I have kind of recently, like in the last year or so, kind of gone through the Janet stuff from the 90s, for example. So like for me, like, I have I liked this stuff when it was out, but it wasn't like it, but I was just too young for it. So I'm getting more appreciation for it now because it still works. But
you could probably say you could argue you are not alone.
You could, but then you remember who wrote it.
Yeah,
and produced it, and you're like, never mind that.
Speaking of the last person on this list,
God damn it, he's on
Kelly.
Fuck. Okay, R. Kelly probably does better on this than Usher does, but he still loses.
And
the only thing that would make him more competitive is the fact where he does the rap singing shit and says ridiculous shit.
I think R. Kelly could stumble into playing the wrong thing. Like, there's that temptation, but bro, oh my God, I'm trying to, like, obviously separate the art from the artist, but the art is the artist here. So that's always difficult, but I'm just saying, R. Kelly or Michael Jackson, like, what would happen when we drop him in, a fucking arena where people don't give a fuck? They just want to hear the music.
Uh-huh.
I think it could be a long night for Mike.
It could be, but like the stuff that would keep him afloat would be like the rap stuff, and it would not be like, singing song for singing song. So like for me, I'm just like dismissing it maybe unfairly in my head. But yeah, R. Kelly, aside from like Whitney and James Brown and Stevie Wonder, I think he does better than everybody else. Well, maybe Mariah. Maybe Mariah. Maybe. Yeah. But like those are people that actually giving him some competition where it's like, oh, he's not walking, or Mike's not walking this person with like winning like 15 books.
And let's get into our last question. I'm gonna wrap this up with Sir Sam. If you could pick a wrestler to shout out your podcast on live TV, who would it be? He's got 3 questions. Wrestler, The Rock, the final boss.
That's the obvious answer.
Like, more people will come see it,
right? Like, how now it's really nasty the reason why he asked about the shout outs on podcasts. He's talking about the CM Punk shit that he did with talking about the Rogan and Cornette thing. He picked that up. That's the reason. That's the only reason I asked that. He's nasty with that one. But yeah. So the answer has to be The Rock, the same way that, like, how Meltzer basically took away the best box office thing awards every year. He's like, it can't be people just doing opinion. It has to be fact. It's like, it's The Rock. The answer is The Rock. Period. Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah, but that CM Punk shout out to Jim Cornette stuff, like, nasty. Very nasty. And also, there are a lot of people that like to deny a lot of things about the Collision era and the philosophies of it. Here to tell you, most of the rumors that you hear, they're true. Then I'll leave it at that.
Nif Man said Tam McConnell shouting out One Nation Radio. That would be fucking hilarious.
Off the back of the bracket, Floyd and I ran for the AEW entrance themes. Who do you think has the best entrance music in AEW? We had Big Pressure win our bracket. That's not a bad choice. Sting just laid it down.
Wait, Sting's music or the Metallica Seek and Destroy?
They didn't put Sting in the tournament.
Oh, okay.
Like, they used the bracket that AEW put out, and it was Battle Cry and Judas, Big Pressure versus Darby's theme, Hangman's theme versus I don't remember, and then it was FTR versus Tony Storm's theme for whatever reason, and then that was the tournament. Then
was Elevated
Hangman.
In there?
Oh, it was Adam. It was Adam Cole. No.
Oh, if it was in, it would win.
All about the boom. Like, so, like, I don't know.
Terrible lyrics.
Yeah, bad
song,
lyrics.
Terrible lyrics.
I don't know, man. That's a tough one because, like, like Judas, like, was rocking. Like, too many cool things have happened with Judas to just throw it out there. But Battle Cry is, like, fucking amazing, and it's like that's their most streamed song. Like, as much as Judas is there, like. Battle Cry is the most played on Spotify, I think. I think Big Pressure was like destined. Like, the first time I ever heard it, I thought it was dope. I just wasn't sure it was going to do what it did, and then like they changed it, and it was like, oh, I think it became a lot easier for people once they heard them guitars to see what was happening.
God damn it!
Yeah, but yeah, the Prince Nana thing, and
definitely,
just a dope song. Yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, Lucha Bros interest is definitely. Yeah.
Lucha Bros music is hard too.
Yeah, like it was a long stretch where like in like group chats where like anytime Lucha Bros came out, like Rich already knows what it was. I was sending in a video of like the dude that dressed like the dude that looked like Future. I heard dancing to Lucha Bros interest music every single week or every other week. I love that shit.
But yeah, Elevated has got to be up there too. Now that kind of feels like cheating because it was somewhere else, but it's here now. So,
I mean, Elevated was so good. It was like the one that he did when he did the United Empire. Like, it wasn't like it was bad. It was actually good. But it was like you took a step down from like an all time interest. You didn't even realize you had all time interest, and then like he decided to bring it back, and it's like, oh, well, there you go.
I like, and the night that he picked to bring it back, it was like. Yes, it was like, him and Omega at the Dome.
I was in the building, remember? And like when that shit play, and they're playing like the piano like add on to it, I was like, he brought back Elevated. Look, I'm sure people to left and right of me were like, what? What the fuck is he saying? What the fuck is this foreigner saying? But I was like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh yes, we back. That was like one of my favorite memories of my Tokyo trip. Yeah.
Bro, when you hear that, it's like you're immediately at attention. It's time to fucking go.
Yeah, I don't know how he lucked into that one. He lucked into one. He lucked into a classic. Absolutely did.
How does Roman get his juice back after looking like the deputy tribal chief since The Rock showed up?
Feud with The Rock.
He turns babyface.
Feud with The Rock.
That's it. Yeah, I think we're a little over on time here. So the rest of these questions, sorry, we're going to punt them next time. But thank you guys for sending them in. But yeah, I don't have anything else. I think you guys should enjoy yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the end of the show, y'all. Thanks for listening. If you are watching from the stream, you can go to the podcast, go to the show notes, and find the link to Red Circle there, and you can donate there. And you can also listen to other shows on the network besides One Nation Radio, which are Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, MCWE Adventure, Wrestling Art with Chris Things, Tama Talk, and the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.
What's so special about Hero Bread's soft, fluffy, and delicious breads, buns, and tortillas? Hero Bread serves up 0 to 1 grams of net carbs, 5 to 11 grams of protein, and high fiber in every delicious serving. Made with natural ingredients, Hero Bread supports gut health, promotes weight management, and helps maintain blood sugar. Hero also drops other limited edition ultra-low net carb goodies like rich flaky croissants and buttery brioche slider rolls. Head to hero.co to shop today.